Hello and welcome to Nice and Blunt. I'm your host, Adam Riancho. Today is Wednesday, August 19th. We're a little bit late this evening, but as always, we go live on Wednesday night. It's 9:40 p.m. We're here to draft some Hound Dogs, some best ball teams. We're going to stay on Underdog tonight, and then tomorrow we will be giving away a free ticket on Drafters. But tonight we stick with the Best Ball Mania theme. We just won in Best Ball Jeopardy earlier today, and we're going to stay on Underdog. So stay tuned. First, let's hit that intro. There it is. We are back. We are ready. And we are here. If you're ready to draft with me, not going to give you much time to get prepped. We're entering the Hound Dog. We're going to draft a few of these. Top 4 advance in the pod. The advanced structure is very nice. Then it's 2 out of 5, still really fucking high. 2 out of 5 again. The only problem is 992 people make the final. That's not good. You do really want to focus your team for that week 17 game, because if you don't finish top 50, you're not making $200. Top 75 is 100. I guess that's okay. But if you make the final, you're only guaranteed $30. So it's all up top. Not the best final pod to be in, but it's very likely you get there. So that's the omen we always want. People in this lobby can make the final. If you want to draft against me, we will draft after the countdown. I recommend you enter somewhere between Baker and Brett Favre. Let's go.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, victor, inhale, exhale, points rail.
Vamonos, muchachos. We got Angus in here. What's up? How we doing, brother? Cat, can cats get high? I mean, maybe. She did run away. She was using her time wisely, making sure she got some attention, but literally for like 10 minutes she was on the desk asking for attention. But that theme song is nice. Yeah, we appreciate Jamie's contribution. There's one lyric in there that I don't know if it makes sense, but it fits. It sounds okay, but for the most part, yeah, it does deliver. A nice little countdown there. But in this lobby, we got the 106. Might get a little different and unique with this one. Might pull some folks up. But let's shout out everyone in this lobby. We got Odunikin, a member of the channel. Congratulations on the 101. We got Paul Smushkevich at the 2. Welcome in. Forch, Go Horns, JJ Fawns, ZX Chari Kyle, Matt Porter 3228, Amped Phil, good to see you again, Spoon Dad and Freaks 66. We got a few members of the blunt rotation in the house. Looks like we have 3 team reviews set up. Aside from mine, we got Odunikin, Go Horns, and Amped Phil in the lobby. Confirm if you are in this lobby and I'm mistaking you, I'm forgetting, please let me know in the chat. Drop a comment, and we will also lock you in for that team review. Appreciate all of our members, as always. But, okay, we have the 6th pick. And it's possible McCaffrey's just holding in, but it's also possible he's not fully healthy. I haven't taken as much of him lately. I'm going to pull up James Cook. Why not? It's not like he's that much different than Omarion Hampton or Ashton Genty. In many ways, he's possibly better than him. And earlier on Best Ball Jeopardy, his game log was very impressive. He was the correct answer to one of the questions. I missed it. I chose Javante, but once I saw RB6 after I said it, I was like, yeah, that's wrong. James Cook finished RB6 last year, had a bunch of 20-plus pointers, 30 pointers a few times. His Week 17 matchup's pretty nice, so let's take him. I think it's a safe play. I think so, but what's up, Go Horns? Catnip? Yeah, I've actually never introduced catnip for her, but there's a different herb that seems to get the job done. But, yo, what's up, Hartman? Appreciate you joining with the blunt emoji. How we doing, Hartman? If anyone hasn't checked out his channel, awesome live streamer, very sharp teams, and maybe we can get you back on the channel before the season's up. We're also competing against each other in the Iron Throne League. If y'all haven't checked that out, the Iron Throne FF is the channel. We dropped the teaser. The draft is on Tuesday, and that is going to be a banger. Hartman is also a member of that league. Cheers to you, brother. Good luck. Jamie is in the house. Smoke it up. Indeed. Reflect the sun right on. Fuck. I kind of need to sneeze. I feel like I have cat hair in my fucking nose. Holy shit. CD Lamb fell to 15 in here? What the fuck? Damn. That's a nice price there on CD Lamb and Justin Jefferson. 15 and 16 for those receivers. Don't see that every day. Very interesting. Do we get it? We do not. Would have loved Hampton. But we're just going to pair up Brock Bowers with James Cook. I will accept my fate with a Brock Bowers team. I know we're making Angus happy. Angus is a huge Brock Bowers fan. But I saved you from doing the dishes. If anything, this is just perfect audio for having it in the background. If anything, maybe it's time to bring in some background music. Let's go. But yeah, you did miss the countdown, Jamie. If we are actually drafting, then you missed it. But yeah, the points being railed. I don't know what that means. It doesn't really mean anything. But it sounds good. In the song, it sounds good enough. Inhale, exhale, points railed. Nice and blunt. But maybe I have to try the catnip. Here's the thing about Leia. When Leia wants something and you do not have it, she gets upset. She does not have much patience. She likes to request things on demand, the way she likes them, at the timing she likes them. So if I'm going to introduce a new thing for her to get addicted to, I don't know if that's going to help me at 5 in the morning when I want to just sleep. She will get there. She will jump up on the bed and then right in your fucking ear, just meow at 3:30. Fucking hell, man. So I don't know if I want to introduce catnip. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's bring in the background music though. We're going back to our previous song. Last night we used the blunt weed song. This one is the blunt shrooms. I kind of think I prefer the blunt shrooms, but they're both pretty good. Rashi Rice in a weird zone right now, and I'm definitely not gonna demonetize the video, so I'm not gonna take Rashi. Sorry, Angus. Actually, I kind of want to make Angus proud. Angus is a huge Rashi Rice stan. You know what? Let's do it. Angus is getting married. We're playing golf tomorrow for his bachelor party. Going on a golf trip. And he is a huge Bowers Rashi Rice fan. If I had to guess, in the subscriber league, he is setting up this combo. It's an auction league, so he can pay up for it. He has access to every player. Let's give Angus some congratulations. Getting married in just under 2 months. Congrats, homie. This Bowers Rashi Rice pick. Those two were for you. But wow, interesting. Waddle goes at 29. Haven't seen that yet, but it seems like it's about time. Kyron goes at 28. With the injuries at running back in the third, he does look like a much safer pick. Devontae at 27. Jeremiah Love at 26. Despite the Jaden Higgins injury, Nico Collins is still at 23. Nico Collins does not move up at the board at all. So some interesting selections. I started it off with James Cook, and then Taylor at 9. Genty, Chase Brown, Walker, Achane at 13. Henry at 14. All those running backs above Lamb and Jay Jettas. But Saquon fell to 17. That's a really nice start for Kyle. And then I would have totally taken Hampton at 19. But that's the problem with the 6th pick. You cannot guarantee that you get a running back at pick 19. They usually are dry at that point. So I've actually come around. I think structurally starting off running back at pick 6 is a wise thing to do. I think so. I'm in that 14-person league, the Iron Throne, as I mentioned. I might be taking running back in round 1, regardless of what pick I get. I might just do it just to lock in a guy I like. But definitely buying the dip on Travis Etienne Jr., whether it's Achane or Etienne. Travis, I think, is a phenomenal pick. I've liked him all summer. And with the Kamara injury, there is no reason to be fading this dip in value. If anything, it all comes back. And then some. Tyson's also banged up. They're probably going to run the ball even more. We like the Kellen Moore offense. Their defense is fine. And Travis has the 11th highest contract at the position. He's being drafted well outside that. Let's see. We currently have RB 19 is where I just took him. Running back 19 for Travis Etienne. He will absolutely pay that off. 100%. So Travis in the 4th round. I used to love him in the 3rd, and I have happily readjusted and taken him as he's trickled down the board. He feels safer than Scatabo. Not sure if he has the same season-long upside as Scatabo, but I think game to game, Travis can finish in the top 5. Travis has game-breaking ability. He can give you a house call and just also like 5 catches if he really needs to. But Travis Etienne Jr., quite a pick in the 4th. Yeah, Hartman, I am as well. We had an interesting way to pick the draft order. We all had a blind bid, and based on priority, you lose those dollars in fab, but you also set yourself up to maybe take your first crack at the draft board, decide which pick you have, and in a 14-man league, that is valuable. There is strategy involved. So some teams, I think, might spend way too much, because even if you take the pick, what if you just fuck it up? You know what I mean? Like, what if you get the last pick on the board and what people decide to leave you is actually just like the most studded part of the draft for like falling values over the course of the entire draft. It's hard to say what is the right way to play this, but yeah, I'm very excited to know what happens. I want my draft pick. I want my draft pick. I'm not going to reveal which is my draft pick of preference, but I did not bid 0. I'll tell you that, Hartman. I'm not sure if you watched when we discussed this the other day. I did not bid 0. But First Time Fantasy Brother, trust me, I was just as shocked as you. What are we shocked about? This is the problem with being a pothead. This is the problem where sometimes it's probably very obvious what he's talking about. I have already moved on. Short-term memory kicking in. I'm not going to lie. I think Evans probably gets hurt. I'm going to go Adams. I'm going to take Adams. Maybe J-Mo's the right pick there too, but let's just lock in a bunch of touchdowns. I think, Evans is a safe play for touchdowns. I think Adams is slightly safer, and I do have Adams over Evans. I do. I think Adams is going to stay a little healthier than Evans. Probably missing some time as well. Let's say 2 to 3 games could totally happen, and given the team he plays for, it might be when it matters most. It might be in the fantasy playoffs just like last year. But Evans, I think, probably misses 3 to 5 games, if I had to guess. Maybe more. He had the broken collarbone last year. That's not good. Before, it was just soft tissue injuries. And then he also had a hamstring injury as well after he came back. So Evans, I think they're both the same age. But if I had to bet on one hitting 12 or more touchdowns, I prefer Davante Adams personally. I will stick to it. Maybe because my name is Adam. That's why I'm biased. Who knows? But let's bet on LA, not San Francisco. Let's stick to our roots. The streets that I know are the streets that are shared by Davante Adams. Let's go with that. I've never spent more than a day in San Francisco. Yes, the vocal cords on Leia are rather impressive. Jamie says, my 4-year son has diagnosed today as a genius in the top 2% of his age. He's starting kindergarten this year. Congratulations, Jamie. That's awesome. That's phenomenal news. Keep it going. Young little Mr. P-Rog. That's phenomenal. Yeah, congrats to Angus on his engagement. I'm still in on BTJ. I'm still in on BTJ. No stacking partner available, so top of ADP. Let's take a receiver. I am not going to move off of. We've got the bet going with Jiri. Season-long points, BTJ versus Parker Washington. What might be unfortunate is that BTJ actually might get traded, and that trade might just be null and void. But I kind of wish, even if he was traded, it was still live. And honestly, the trade is probably best case scenario. Like, what if the Niners just trade for BTJ or something? Like what if Evans does get hurt and they're just like, fuck it, we have to send this. They probably don't have the draft capital to do it, but like, wouldn't that be fun? Who knows? But insane value at 43. Yowza. Yeah, based on a few a few weeks ago, Travis was like a confident pick in like the 30-29 range, like the late 20s, early 30s. So 43, it's pretty crazy. It should move back up, you would think, given Kamara went down. But Hartman's locked in. He got his bid in tonight. I didn't overthink it. I thought about waiting. I placed my bid yesterday. Yesterday is when I placed my bid. But Crom says, what's up? Hope you're good. Travis will win leagues from the 4th. I sure hope so. We got a nice combo to start a James Cook, Travis Etienne, Bowers team. And the receiver room has Rashi, Devontae Adams, and BTJ. So far, I think we're in business. But Mean and Sharp. Is this our team? Is this our roster? But Jiri, Parker over BTJ. The ADP agrees with you, Jiri. I was not eligible to get Parker Washington at 67 in this one. He went at 59. So the ADP does agree with you, but that's how I summon you, Jiri. That's how we will be linked through the end of the year with this Parker Washington BTJ bet. So it's only fitting. Divine timing at its finest. But Tyson, not the pick I want. Man, it feels good to have Bowers on this team, I'll tell you that. But it would probably make some sense to just take Metcalf. Probably. Obviously, I'm willing to mix in Justin Herbert at all times. And I got the Rashee Rice bring back. But I don't have much DK Metcalf. I'm willing to take him here just for shits and giggles. We ignored receiver for just a second. Other than Rashee, it's, round 5 to start with number 2. Sometimes behind the 8 ball. So there's not many that I know exactly what I'm going to get. At least with Metcalf, I know I'll get a few big spike weeks. But overall, his season stats have been looking kind of mid. He was one of the answers in Best Ball Jeopardy earlier today. And I know DJ Moore had a down season last year, so I thought it was DJ Moore. But for it to be Metcalf was kind of a gross stat line for him. Last 4 years have not been too pretty. They've consistently gotten worse. Let's speak to that end. Last year, only 850 yards, only 6 touchdowns. The year before that, 992 yards, 5 touchdowns. So basically the same amount of total points. He had 7 total touchdowns last year, actually, but he also got suspended for 2 weeks. That's one of the factors there. But then 2 years prior, 2023 in Seattle, 1,114 yards and 8 touchdowns. That was way more. That was like another 35 points. So it's not as impressive. Only 99 targets last year. We'd hope that goes up under Mike McCarthy. I want to trust it, but I'm also a little skeptical. I think for the discount, I think Michael Pittman's just a better value because they probably have like similar numbers when it's all said and done. But Booty probably going to end up traded as well. There's a chance for that, but I'm not fully sold it happens. I don't know if that's locked in yet. We will see. But interesting, the Ladd McConkey drafter passed. They took Michael Wilson and Jordan Mason there at 84, 85. They're rocking with Drake May, so feeling pretty confident at quarterback, I would assume. But the pull-up on Mason, haven't seen him at 85 yet. That's a high pick on Jordan Mason. I'm not taking him there. Whoa, Kyle Monangai went to Spoon Dad at 83. Whoa. He's like fallen to 107, if not 110. That is early on a Kyle Monangai selection. That's, All right. I thought this team would take it, but I'm not going to let him fall any further. I am taking Justin Herbert at 91. If anything, it makes me kind of wish I had maybe passed a bit more often when I took him in the 7th round. But a lot of that time, I was doing that to set up a Quentin Johnston pick in the 8th. We get Herbert in the 8th round this time, and we do have the bring back against Rashee Rice in the final week. So there is some correlation there, but I think it's just a really good value, really good pick. Quarterback 9 off the board, pick 91. Phenomenal. I think Justin Herbert might be better than Jalen Hurts this year. I think he will be. I'm not going to say he might be. I think he will. No sugarcoating it. It's maybe hometown bias. That is my favorite team. But Mike McDaniel actively chose Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts this season. He was the front runner for every play caller opportunity. The Eagles went after him hard. The Eagles know what they're doing. Best front office in the league, arguably. Mike McDaniel said no. You'd have to think the opportunity to coach Justin Herbert a little more appealing than coaching Jalen Hurts, perhaps. You can do a little bit more with Justin Herbert. I'm not sure he wanted to call tush pushes over and over and over and over again. He'll call a few this year. Herbert's going to have some rushing touchdowns, but the playbook, I think, is completely open. Dial up anything you want with a talent like Justin Herbert. Jalen Hurts, very close to it. Much better playoff quarterback, undoubtedly. But to have maybe some extra fun at play caller, maybe go to Justin Herbert over Jalen Hurts. This is an interesting spot in the draft here. JCM goes. I'm not taking Chuba. So I think I'm going to go Kenny Gainwell. I think I need some running back points. We have the elite tight end in Bowers. I could double up with Pittman, set up a Rodgers combo. That's kind of tempting. You know what? I am going to do that. Let's trust our top 2 running backs. I might regret it just because RB looks kind of gross moving forward. But we had Best Ball Guy on the channel the other night, and he really proved that you can still draft a bunch of good running backs the rest of the way. There's still a lot of outs, and we attack it by volume early on at receiver, attack it by volume later on at running back. We trust Justin Herbert's MVP candidacy, and we also have Bowers. So we can just go running back if we want at any point in the draft and just like disregard ADP entirely. There's still some picks I like. And although Kenneth Gainwell might help us a lot, I have a lot of Gainwell shares. And they do still have the Rams defense in the final game. That's not the most exciting. That could be problematic. But I do like Kenny Gainwell a lot in this range. Also factoring in Monungai's not available anymore. Running back is drying up. But this side of the board got a little spend happy for sure. Yeah, picks 2 and pick 5. That's my team. We only have 2 quarterbacks, two running backs. Pardon me. But every team behind me has either 4 or 3 running backs. There's a lot of RBs that went off on the right side of the board in this one. So who knows? Maybe I get a good value. Maybe not in this round, but maybe over the course of the draft. Perhaps the long turn doesn't prioritize green running back picks. Who knows? Who knows? But could always just get burned. That's also on the table. Hartman says Chiefs should trade for BTJ and get a real receiver one. That'd be lit. That would be fucking awesome. If the Jaguars are interested, I have a Quentin Johnston I would like them to consider. I'd love to ship them a QJ for a BTJ. Expiring contract. Both first-round picks. Basically the same pick in the draft, actually. I believe it would be a one-for-one trade if you look at draft capital spent. But look at that. It was the right pick to go Michael Pittman. We get Kenny Gainwell to circle back. Perfect. What a nice fall there. 115. Phenomenal price. I'm willing to take Gainwell at like 95. I think Gainwell should be an 8th-round pick. I like him better than JCM. I think he's more valuable than J.K. Dobbins. I think he's a better pick than Jordan Mason, perhaps. That might not actually pay off, but I genuinely would rather have Gainwell than Mason. I'll tell you that. But John Tara says Strange will be better value than either of them. Strange goes into a good pocket of the draft. I think he's a perfect backup tight end. I'm not as sold as like him as your starter, though. It's still very crowded in the Jags offense. You never really know where the ball's going to go. Even last year when he had good matchups, sometimes they didn't need him to score touchdowns because it was just going elsewhere. But what's up, Disbanded Brotherhood in the house, leaving us a dot as always. Thanks for checking in. But Jamie says, I hope Booty gets traded to Raiders for the dirty receiver memes. Tucker first, then Naylor, Booty. That would be as like plunderous as possible in regards to the Raiders. The Pirates would definitely use this motto. Booty on a pirate team has to be where he is destined to land. You know, whether it's via trade or free agency, I think Kayshon Boutte has to be either a Raider or a Patriot at some point in his career, but who knows? Who knows? But Air Jeff got the DK answer in the chat. Good for you. But up here on the board, damn, this is a really good price on Romeo Doubs. I'm definitely not taking Jaden Higgins. I kind of want to take Chris Rodriguez, but this is a phenomenal price on Romeo Doubs. It really is. So I will just let the board decide my fate. We have Rashee Rice, Devontae Adams, Brian Thomas Jr., DK Metcalf, and Michael Pittman. And then Romeo Doubs at 126. Doubs, I think, is a great pick. A round higher. So phenomenal at 126. We are getting some good prices. Honestly, I'm really glad I took James Cook at pick 6. I feel safer with him than Christian McCaffrey. Perhaps not the same upside, but love the James Cook safety net. He has like at least 16 touchdowns in like back-to-back seasons, so that probably doesn't go away. As long as he stays healthy, that's not going to change. And then Bowers could just be the piece that you need. And our receiver room has really come together nicely. So trusting Justin Herbert. Running back room with Cook, Travis Etienne, and Kenny Gainwell. Fun team. We're not done. Only have one quarterback, one tight end so far, but team's looking pretty fun so far. Through 11 picks. We have 7 left. Let's land this plane. We are not on autopilot. Let's land this motherfucker. But Go Horns in the house. Do you think the Texans will bring someone in? Possibly. Out of necessity, they might. You know who actually piqued my interest when I was thinking about options? I don't think they'd trade for Jerry Jeudy. I think that'd be kind of meaningless. If they do, good luck to them, but maybe they're fleecing the Browns again. I doubt it. Maybe they'd rather have someone like Cedric Tillman. But I actually think Tyreek Hill stands out among like eligible names a little bit. To be honest with you, I actually kind of think Tyreek Hill would be a fun option for them. It would probably only happen if Tank Dell gets hurt. So if I had to guess, they're going to hold steady for a while. I think Jalen Knoll is a very interesting pick right now, but for the most part, Dalton Schultz really blows up. He's on the thumbnail for a reason tonight. Jaden Higgins getting hurt. I'm glad I didn't expect much of him this year. Last year, he was one of my most drafted players. This year, I only took him at 2%. Thankfully, I avoided the Jaden Higgins landmine, but my ranks have Dallas Goedert here. Andrews is also available, but the same buy as Bowers, so not dying to do it. Yeah, tight end is drying up. Let's get the 20-point upside. Paired up with Bowers, how often is he going to hit my lineup? Probably the bye week is the best opportunity. Otherwise, he needs to drop like 20 points for him to have a real chance. So Bowers and Goddard, two guys that can do that. I have no fear in Stowers. Goddard has been my play all season with the Eagles. So love his value. I think he's a perfect tight end 2. With the tight end 1, we're done. We are done. Maybe I'll have a luxury pick and I'll mix in another tight end in the last round. But at the moment, it would have to be a stacking partner, and the only option is Justin Herbert. Maybe this is an Njoku team. Perhaps Njoku is the pick in round 18. But K-Space saying, good day, sir. Are we doing any drafters after this? We could. I'm not going to lie. I don't actually love the contests available on Underdog that much, other than BBM, of course. But for the sake of the bankroll, I haven't been... I've drafted a few BBMs lately. I think I'm going to cool it until maybe at least our guest tomorrow. Pepper Tony's coming on the channel. That's going to be fun tomorrow. And then Friday, I may take the day off. I might be live super late, but not quite sure exactly what's going to happen on Friday. So I think tomorrow we'll be live for quite a while. As long as Pepper Tony wants to say he can join us, but I might go 4 hours, to be honest, tomorrow. And we definitely will be giving away a free ticket over on Drafters. We'll probably do 2 drafts over on Drafters tomorrow, one of which will include a free ticket. But Rony Baloney, did McDaniel get tired? I feel like that's when this comment came in. But the Eagles win. The Eagles do win playoff games. There is that. The Chargers are cursed in some way. But yo, what's up, Wilson? How we doing? Speaking of cursed franchises, Falcons fan in here. How we doing, Wilson? Thank you as always for dropping comments after the fact. Yo, if y'all can be like Wilson, help me out with the algorithm. Drop a little comment after the video is done, after the live stream is over. Always helps your boy out in the algorithm game. But Travis Hunter goes. This team needs running back. We're going to pivot over to Tank Bigsby, my favorite Philadelphia Eagles. Another week 10 bye. Perhaps problematic. Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to lock up Trey Harris. I need someone stacked up with Herbert, and I don't want to be forced into David Njoku. I really talked myself into Trey Harris fully being worth pick 150 at this point in time, and Keenan Allen already went off the board, so that is totally justified. I actually have Trey Harris over Keenan Allen. I trust the Chargers scouting department to say which guy will be better this year. They're going to stick with Trey Harris, and I think he will have a breakout season. I think there's a chance he actually steals the job from Quentin Johnston by the time the season's over. So whether an injury catapults him or his talent just wins out, I like Trey Harris. I believe in Trey Harris. Really good camp film lately, and I think he will be a reliable target all season. I think he'll get a lot of targets. I think 85 plus targets is actually in the cards for someone like Trey Harris. So love him at 150. Stacked up even better. Let's take him. But yo, what's up, Anthony? You're the 10th like on this video. Appreciate that. Looks like we got 13 likes currently. And if y'all are enjoying the content, really appreciate it if you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new, if you're having a good time. Subscribe. And happy to answer any questions here in the chat. And if you would like a team review, if you're in this lobby or in a future one, for the full month, you will get team reviews if you are a member of the Blunt Rotation. $5 for the month. And we have 3 reviews on the slate tonight. In this lobby, Odunican at the 101, Go Horns at the 4, and Amped Phil at the 10. I believe all 3 of them are members. I know Go Horns for sure, and Odunican. Amped Phil, I'm pretty sure. I'm quite sure. We'll see. But Rob is pretty dope. If y'all haven't checked out the Professional Fanatics YouTube channel, shout out Rob as well. But got Gibbs. That's always nice. Bigsby almost made it back. So close. So close. Might mix in Marshawn Lloyd just for the hell of it. Yeah, let's go running back. Let's go Marshawn Lloyd. I haven't been taking much Josh Jacobs, and at the moment, it looks like the team is pretty convinced that they trust Marshawn Lloyd. They got rid of Emmanuel Wilson for a reason. So let's just pray he stays healthy. I don't have a ton of him, but he's risen a ton lately. I'll go Marshawn Lloyd. But Rome, the host, says, good to see you, man. I hope you've been good. I appreciate that, Rome. I have been well, and I hope you're doing well on top of that. But salute disbanded. You did drop the Diddy emoji. Thanks for the jewels. But I've never played that game. The paint game, I've never played that. It looks fun. But hashtag strong hands. You definitely want to hold on to the ball. QJ may have hashtag Butterfingers. But Rony Baloney, Texans bring back with Hopkins. Maybe that would be... That could work. Kind of feel like his career is over. Just like Jiri's saying Tyreek's career is over. I think Tyreek could maybe do something after Halloween. I could see a world where he's signed somewhere to a team that like just gets decimated. Like if you told me Rashee Rice actually got hurt this year, I could totally see them bringing Tyreek Hill week 11. Totally see it. But I'm okay disbanded. I'm okay. I think we can pass. But if you want to send it, it's your money on the line. They're your jewels. If they're not as precious to you, go ahead and give them up. It is kind of funny, but Hartman, do you plan on doing the first quarter contest at all? Do you like the different quarter contests in general? I might do one, but I think it's a specific strategy similar to Eliminator. It's a very similar contest to that. That's basically how I would see it and how I would try to strategize. So maybe we do one. I probably won't do it tonight, but I think if we look at the schedule first and then try to set some sights. I know for a fact I want to draft a lot of Chargers in there. Their first 3 games are awesome. Cardinals, Raiders, Bills. They're going to crush. Cam Ward is still here at 174. But my team is really set up for Aaron Rodgers. But damn, this is a good price. I'm actually just going to take it just to get unique. I'm going to go Cam Ward, actually. Just to be different. We'll see what happens, but I have both Metcalf and Pittman. So there might be a less of an incentive to snipe me. But, whoa. The team behind me still doesn't have a quarterback. Team 7, ZX Cherry, has a 0.672 right now. He's got McBride. He just took Gadsden. He does not want a quarterback. Very interesting. But we've done 4 hours plenty of times, Ruben. 4 hours is nothing. But you're welcome, Wilson. Definitely appreciate you being a consistent viewer. You've been in the chat for years now, so always appreciate you popping in and sticking with us. Very much appreciated. All the support means a lot to me. We got the Iron Throne saying, I usually do 2 to 4 quarters, so it gives me drafts to do during the season. Not so much the first one. Gotcha. Yeah, the first, there's so much at play. A lot of things that are... Week 1 is tough. You know, like week 1 is kind of hard to predict. Week 1 can go in many different directions, but it's a fun contest structure, I will say. I might do some, but probably not more than 2 or 3. Most likely I'll do 1, though. At the very least, I'll probably do 1. But Mr. Bakes a Lot, reminding me that it's time for me to bake a lot. I'm going to make this pick, and then we're going to hit the pipe in honor of Mr. Bakes a Lot. Rodgers nearly made it back. So close there. It would make sense to just take Pat Bryant in this lobby. It would make some sense. But I actually think Brian Robinson's a very valuable pick. I really do. I feel like people just got bored taking him, but my team definitely needs some running back points more than receiver. So I'll go B-Rob. I'll take a Brian Robinson share at 187. He's been falling too much, and I really just think it's out of boredom. I don't think there's a justified reason to fade Brian Robinson. There's no one on that offense that is overtaking his job. Even the receivers, I don't think, steal some of his touchdowns. I'm not really sure what people are worried about with Brian Robinson, other than just betting that Bijan stays healthy. But injuries can happen anywhere, and Algier had 8 touchdowns last season, 143 carries. Algier had some usage, and I just can't envision 100% of the workload going to Bijan. So I do like the price on Brian Robinson. Everyone got super excited on Marshawn Lloyd, Jaden Blue, even Alvin Kamara, but I think I'd rather have the Falcons back up than the Browns back up. Give me Brian Robinson over Dylan Sampson all day. But yo, First Down Fantasy in here, becoming a member. That also triggers a hit from the pipe. Perfect timing. Let's do it. Smoke it if you got it. Well, it feels good. We were live earlier on Best Ball Jeopardy, and I wanted to be sober for it, so it was 4:20 p.m., and I almost took a rip from the pipe, and I remembered, like, no, actually, I want to be sober for Best Ball Jeopardy in 2 hours, so I actually did not smoke at 4:20 tonight, but damn, even Caleb Douglas is still here. 198, he's been rising dramatically. He feels like a good pick. Honestly, he feels like a good pick. He goes, so it kind of saves me. Ridley makes some sense. But for running backs, there's not that many handcuffs left. But Emmett Johnson feels kind of locked in as well. I'm going to go Emmett Johnson, another bring back versus the Chargers. And we're just going to trust Herbert that much. The discount on Cam Ward is how we get different. And even though he's unstacked, he was at a big discount. 22 picks. That should speak for itself. Let's hope that he's more productive than people think. But it's really just trusting Herbert. And what's also nice, I don't actually need to care too much about the upset. All we need to do is finish in the top 4. This contest is actually really easy to advance. 4 out of 12, 2 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 992 in the final. We are trusting Herbert undoubtedly in the final. Yeah, I'm actually totally fine only taking 2 quarterbacks in this. It's the exact opposite of BBM, where I definitely want more cracks at it. So 3 quarterbacks in BBM is my typical strategy. Only 2 in the Hound Dog feels correct. Herbert, Cam Ward should be good enough to get me top 4 in the pod, assuming Herbert is the MVP. James Cook in this one, Travis Etienne, Kenny Gainwell, Marshawn Lloyd, Brian Robinson Jr., and Emmett Johnson. We got a good backfield. That Kenny Gainwell fall feels really nice. Decent discount on Lloyd, just a little bit, but receiver room, we tackled it fairly early and consistently. Maybe those middle rounds, that's the better way to describe it. Rashee Rice, though, in the 3rd, hopefully he's just healthy. He should pay off, though. He's always been a really productive player when he's on the field. Is there a quarterback I want? There is not. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring in David Njoku. I will. For the stack, let's do it. We're really betting on Justin Herbert on this team, and who the fuck knows? Maybe we're the only team in the final week that actually has Njoku, not only on their team, but stacked up with Herbert. Most people are afraid to do that. They're still taking Gadsden. If you read the camp reports, if you watch the film from that Niners joint practice, Njoku's playing, and he's the one running routes. He's catching touchdowns. He looked pretty fucking good in a recent clip I saw. And Justin Herbert threw him the ball. It wasn't Trey Lance or their 3rd stringer. It was Justin Herbert. So not afraid to go 3 tight ends with a Bowers team. We need some more correlation with Herbert. And I'm here for it. We got Emmett Johnson for the bring back, David Njoku, our last 2 picks. We are further committing to Herbo. Fun team. Very fun team. And we will get some good flex usage at a tight end with this trio. Definitely some flex points with all 3. Because I think Njoku's scoring like 4, maybe 5 touchdowns. I really do. I think he's more talented than Will Dissly by a mile. And the way it's set up right now, they brought him in to compete with Gadsden. At the moment, he's won the job. He's running with the ones a lot more than Gadsden. And he's not going to block as much as Kolar. So I think Njoku's fully draftable. I think so. Shout out Steve from Fanspeak. We've mentioned this before. I know he was a long time fader of Gadsden and willing to click Njoku for like months now. So shout out Steve from Fanspeak Network. But let me catch up with the chat and then we'll do the team reviews real quick. But gotcha, Hartman. Yeah, very, very fair. Especially week 1, I feel like that's so unpredictable from like just a DFS standpoint. You know, week 1 is tough. But got that GG4. It's like Cypress Hill concert out here. Is this from? I feel like Rob Schneider says this. I feel like that's what it's from, but I might be wrong. Where's this quote from? I totally recognize it. It's like Cypress Hill concert out here. I feel like it has an accent to it. Not quite sure, but I know it'll probably happen just like Ricky Pearsall in the next like 24 hours probably. But not today, I guess. But probably tonight. I wouldn't be shocked if tomorrow he's just unlisted. They were kind of quick with it on Ricky Pearsall. But GG4 on lock for life. Good for you, Disbanded. First Hand Fantasy. My card was stolen, so I had to retype it in for everything. No worries, First Down. No problemo. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Are you in this lobby? I don't think so. Are you in this lobby? Please inform me. And not quite sure, but dropping the chili and the jewels. You're painting a picture there, Disbanded. It's quite a lot. You got to be amped Phil. I imagine this is amped Phil. I'm like 95% you are amped Phil. There it is. That's what I thought. Appreciate you, man. Definitely locking in the team review. Thank you for joining the blunt rotation. Let's since you're new tonight, re-up tonight. Let's take a look at pick 10. Amped Phil came in with a 3.573 from the 10 slot. Dak Prescott, Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud at 154. Not terrible. Kind of understandable with Jaden Higgins leaving, but his connection with Jaden Higgins wasn't that impressive. He actually wasn't as good with Higgins as he was with Tank Dell historically. If Dell is healthy, I think that's the key piece for Stroud. It's kind of independent of Jaden Higgins, but Ashton Genty, Javonte Williams, Travion Henderson, Chris Rodriguez, and Dylan Sampson, very balanced. Perhaps the luxury pick of Travion, but at 63, I think we need to be buying the dip. He can drop 30 points. That is very valuable. It's why I like Rico Dowdle so much. Spike week potential is through the roof. And paired with a nice floor play of Rodriguez, I think that's a nice balance there. I do expect a lot of touchdowns for C-Rod. I almost took him. And while I don't regret not doing it, it's only because I got the value on Romeo Dobbs. But Dylan Sampson on this team, he is the immediate handcuff. There is that. It's the same thing as Brian Robinson. I prefer B-Rob over Sampson, but Sampson's a better pass catcher. Probably younger and perhaps more upside. I also understand the pick. It's fair. It's fine. It's not my favorite thing, but it's all right. T. Higgins with Lamb. Elite offenses to bet on in the passing game. And then Lamb at 15. Fucking awesome for you. J-Mo at 58 is very nice as well. Mekhi Lemon, Jalen Coker, Jalen Knoll doubling up the Jalen's. And then Jeremy Bernard, you couldn't help yourself. Talented guy, not sure what to make of him. Rodgers usually doesn't like rookies, but the Jalen Knoll pick feels like a really strong one right now, especially if you didn't like BBM, even better. He's less drafted in a contest like that that's been open since May, but like the pull-up, especially with Stroud, phenomenal choice. But at 202, the bar's pretty low. Kittle, Henry, and Sadiq, pretty decent. Kittle, I worry about some injury concern, obviously, but elite upside. Hunter Henry should be a fine advanced piece. And then Sadiq, I'm not sure he's my favorite third option to go with here. Honestly, there's a world where Jake Ton just actually helps you more than Sadiq for best ball purposes, but very talented first round pick. Don't want to fade him entirely. We took him yesterday in BBM with best ball guy at like 190. So past ADP, he's fallen a lot, and it looks like he might be healthy for week 1. So optimistic on the health, worth taking a stab with the rookie first round pick. Very solid team. Good enough stacks to feel confident. Kittle stacked up, the only one with Purdy, but at least there's that, and he is one that you would like. Lamb and Javonte stacked up. Stroud with Jalen Knoll. Team's pretty balanced. Team's pretty good. Like the only pick I didn't love was like Sampson, just kind of on a player take situation, and then Jeremy Bernard just out of no clue what to make of it. But I have a lot of Jeremy Brags. That's probably why I don't like the Jeremy click, just because I have so much of him, especially in the pre-draft. But yeah, that's such a nitpicking complaint. Very good team. Very good team, Amp Phil. Like it a lot. We mentioned Gohorns and Odunican. Let's pivot over to Gohorns. Jackson Dart, Trevor Lawrence, and Baker Mayfield. That is getting it done. No complaints with that volume. And then T-Lot 100, always nice. But it's basically like you took Dart at ADP and then took T-Lot 93. So all's fine with that. No complaints whatsoever. Kyron, Scatterboat, Bucky Irving, Jalen Warren, and Kalen Black. Very fun running back room. Maybe Bucky is just not worth it, but I think he's probably fine as your RB3. And then Warren's a big floor play, but you also have the league winner possibly with Kalen Black. Puka Nacua, Malik Neighbors, elite volume for those two. Chris Godwin, a nice player to pill up, and you have the bring back, the stack and the bring back. Golden at 117, phenomenal discount. I passed on him because I took Gainwell, but Golden really nice at 117, high upside. McMillan for the double stack. Flournoy, a good contingency play. And then Pat Bryant fell to 189. Scoop up that value. Good pick. Very good pick. Brenton Strange, AJ Barner, Pat Fryermuth. Nothing elite, nothing really special, but inexpensive tight ends. These guys can fit the bill. I worry that if you don't get like the same amount of touchdowns as last year out of Barner, Strange maybe just gets boxed out occasionally just because it's so crowded. There's a world this isn't enough. There is a chance this is not enough at tight end. My tight end room definitely a bit more dynamic, but quarterback is so strong, I think it makes up for it. But to wait on tight end and still get Brenton Strange as your number one option, no issues with that. Very balanced, very good team. O'Doonican, Jalen Hurts, and Tyler Shuck. I do think with this 4 out of 12 advanced thing, the only 2 quarterbacks I think is actually a more appealing way to play it. Not going to lie, similar to my team, maybe I'm biased, but only taking 2 quarterbacks actually feels kind of smart. Jahmyr Gibbs, Quinshon Judkins, Jonathan Brooks, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, and Braylon Allen. These 2 are destined to get hurt. They're not going to contribute in the final week, so feels kind of worthless. The Jets backup also feels kind of worthless. The Panthers play with Brooks, though, probably worth it. Let's hope he stays healthy. Browns RB1, fine selection, but probably not elite without a 3-touchdown game. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, that's the reason why you can't count it out. But I will say the depth is a little disappointing. I think Aaron Jones might be one of the worst picks on the board. And then right now, Kamara looks like a terrible pick. He sprained his MCL. He'll be out for like 2 months minimum. Kind of serious injury. Same as Tyler Biadasz, the Chargers center. Same injury, MCL sprain. We got George Pickens here, Chris Olave, DJ Moore, Stephon Diggs, Dontavian Wicks, Keenan Allen, Malachi Fields, and Chris Bell. Really good receiver room. No issue with any of these selections. Really nice, strong picks at receiver. Fannin at 97, another Browns investment, so yuck. And then Dalton Schultz, a great pick right now, right at ADP. Definitely worth higher than that. If anything, once Goddard's off the board, you could tell me that Schultz is better than Okonkwo. Schultz might be better than Andrews, possibly. Schultz is a really good pick right now. He always was a safe pick. Right now, he's an elite pick based on the cost. I think what you get in return is really, really good. So target Schultz. I like that. Running back room needs a little bit of luck, but I think early in the season, you could just get enough weeks out of these 2, or just Jones, that you can wait for Kamara. But Kamara is washed. Kamara is done. You can't be taking Kamara. That one was a wasted pick. That one, wish it was quarterback 3, honestly. I do not like the Kamara pick whatsoever, and I don't like the Jones pick. But everything else is fine. Everything checks out. I don't usually take Fannin myself. Not typically. You took Fannin over JCM, Chuba Hubbard, Kenny Gainwell. Those were the guys that went. I might have just taken JCM or Gainwell, honestly. I do not like the Fannin bet. But this team has multiple Browns. They could just be in garbage time a lot. Good luck. But I will be honest, O'Doonican, of the 3 teams I reviewed, I think this one I like the least. Despite only having 2 quarterbacks, I think it's just the flex play. It's the flex position. Receiver's great. Tight end is fine. It's good enough. It's on the higher end, but it's maybe not like A+, just because of Fannin. And then running back depth is just kind of shaky. Beyond Gibbs, just a little shaky. But with Gibbs, anything is possible. Good luck, brother. Good luck. We're going to enter the Hound Dog again. We are done with the team reviews. And I'll hit the drop. We're going to draft the Hound Dog. If you're ready. The clip is a 10-person countdown, a 10 to 1 countdown. But it's actually 15 seconds long. It's actually 15 seconds long. So I just recommend hitting the button when you see Brett Favre or Jaden Daniels or Baker Mayfield. Around 5, 4, 6. That's where I think you should get in. Okay. Good luck.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, victor, inhale, exhale, points rail.
7 spots. Perhaps you got in the pre-flow. Perhaps, but definitely an opportunity to get in on this one. Let's see what pick we get. Can we buy an early pick? We get pick 3. Would have loved a top 2 selection, but pick 3, I will take what I get. Definitely prefer pick 3 than pick 4. I'll tell you that. But let's shout out the lobby. We got Go Horns Game Tight. They got the 101 and 102. Congrats, fellas. I'm jealous. But Colts in here at the 4. Anthony at the 5. Daniel Aiden Gill at the 6. My dyslexia got triggered on that one. But Space Cowboy, what's up? K-Space at the 7. Jantara is at the 8. Diego at the 9. P-Punch at the 10. Jeery Football hoodied at the 11. And then Hilltoppers at the 12. Welcome in, gentlemen. We got 4 spots to advance in this contest. We're trying to take it down week 17. That's really what matters. In the Hound Dog, it's easy to get there, not easy to finish top 100. We are vying for week 17 bringbacks. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. A little easier to exit the pod, but we do not get a gift. We still get Jamar Chase. Some people think you can take him at the 101, or at least over Bijan. I have not taken a lot of Jamar Chase just because I don't get pick 3 too often, but let's do it today. We got it yesterday, and it does feel pretty strong. We'll see if we get Burrow. I wouldn't bet on that, but Jamar Chase as our receiver 1 feels pretty strong. Higgins was always better with Mills. Couldn't agree more, Go Horns. The stats speak for themselves, absolutely. Jaden Higgins was only unlocked by Davis Mills. CJ Stroud might be their best chance to win games. They actually performed very well with Davis Mills. Not going to lie. They won, I believe, all 3 games with Davis Mills. One of them was against the Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken. At worst, they went 2-1 with Davis Mills. But I'm pretty sure they went 3-0. They went back to Stroud, and the fantasy numbers only really spiked for Jaden Higgins when Davis Mills is the quarterback. I actually dug into the stats and have it on like a spreadsheet somewhere. I'm actually going to pull it up separately and see if I can specifically show y'all what I'm talking about. But if we have to, we'll just raw dog the Pro Football Reference page. We'll do it manually if we have to. No, I have the splits actually. Let me bring this in. I'm gonna go dark mode for it. I don't want to blind y'all. It is nighttime. Let me make sure dark mode's on. There we go. This is not the most pleasing thing to see. I'll be totally honest with you. But Jaden Higgins, these are his numbers right here. Let me move the thing. These two are his splits. On the season... Oh, I'm on the clock, actually. Let me make this pick. I will take Nico Collins over Drake London at the moment. At the moment, with Jaden Higgins out, I'll go Nico Collins above Drake London. The Bijan drafter can get the double Atlanta. Be my guest. Are they both crushing in the final week? They might. They just might. But right now, Nico Collins has one fewer option. I think the nuances of the position. He's a little more injury prone, but I still think I prefer him over London as of today. But we could fall into that trap, but let's... Let's go Kyron Williams. Almost took T. Higgins there to set up the Burrow double. But if the Chase Brown drafter feels feisty, if Hilltoppers wants him, probably not just going to get him. So I'll go Kyron, and we'll see what the T. Higgins drafter decides to do later. Who knows? But sneaky. Welcome in, Jerry, to this lobby. You start off Genty and Jefferson. Not bad at all. But First Time Fantasy said, I don't have a ton of Sadiq, so I need to get my bags up a bit. He's gotten so inexpensive. It's worth clicking on occasion. Like, we took him in BBM yesterday at pick 190. Probably worth it if he's possibly eligible to just be healthy for week 1. It looks like that's on the table. But what's up, P-Punch? How we doing? I see you in here. You took James Cook, Saquon Barkley. But John Tara thinks this lobby will be brutal. You never know. You never know. Some things just go your way. Gohorn says, for real, Jiri and Gohorns are sharks. There's a lot of badges in here. A lot of experience badges. We have a couple bronzes in Gohorns and Jiri. But P-Punch and Game Type both have silver badges. Those are scary too. Technically, I think the silver badges have more experience. Technically. But I took Chase over Bijan in one of these earlier. Wilson says, not smart. Wilson hates it. But what's up, Hulk Smash? Potatoes. Hey, how we doing? Welcome in. We start off with Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, and Kyron Williams tonight. Trusting in the Rams backfield, trusting in Sean McVay, putting an emphasis on play callers and trusting their contract allocations. There's a lot of money spent on Kyron Williams. If he gets hurt, that's one thing. But I'm not as sold as some other people that Blake Corum just takes his job. I want to just be attached to the Rams. I feel like that's pretty safe. Travis Etienne goes pick 39. P-Punch takes him. I was honestly optimistic that maybe we get another fall and I take him at 46. But a very good pick from P-Punch. He goes 4 straight running backs, putting the stranglehold on the position. And at least to have one at this point feels pretty solid. Anthony G. That is not Spurs G. That's not Anthony, actually. That's a different Anthony. He's the only one who doesn't have a running back. Will he pass here or will he take his medicine? Taylor went at pick 4. I just noticed that. I literally didn't notice that until right now. Taylor at pick 4 with Neighbors and Josh Allen. Kind of interesting. This 4 or 5 turn is going to decide a lot. He goes Loveland. Damn. If Loveland was actually on the board there and I noticed it, I would have totally taken him too. We could further invest in Houston, but I think I trust Swift a tiny bit extra at the moment. I don't love the double Houston bet. I'm not as sold that the Packers game is going to have multiple league winners from the Texans in that game. So as much as I like Dave Montgomery, I think he's a fine pick around here. I'll opt for just a new roster, a new team. I don't want double Houston as much as just having a Chicago Bear. I think that's a pretty decent pivot. But if you like Montgomery, that's also a fine selection. He does go at 48 to Gohorns. Who pairs him with Rome Odunze? He takes a Chicago Bear himself. So going to be interesting to see where Caleb Williams goes in this. But Rome goes at 49, and that is above Luther Burden. I'll probably just take Burden here. No, he goes at 50. Bummer. I would have loved Luther Burden there because I'm not 100% sold that the Loveland drafter is going to take Caleb. I've been kind of forcing a few more Beischel Tootin clicks lately. I'm not going to lie, I've been forcing a few of them. But I'll just take JMO.
Nice
I'll just take JMO. I feel like I've been trying to get him to fall back to me a few more times than I should. And sometimes I'm even at like 54, 55 and he's available and I pass. I've actually passed on JMO a few times lately. And I don't think that's wise. I don't think if you're underweight JMO, you should be passing. I know when I started to pass, I was overweight JMO, but I think I just got out of the habit of doing it. And I don't think there's any reason to not mix him in. So someone that can drop a house call at any point, a lot of 100+ yard games. We know Jiri likes it. And if anything, I've probably not taken enough of him as of late. So in the 5th round, really good pick. Much younger than these other guys. Much younger than Adams. Fairly younger than DJ Moore. Not younger than Burden, but healthier right now. Safer role to trust than Parker Washington. Healthier historically than Christian Watson, despite his injury issues as well. JMO's stayed healthier lately. And I also think he's perfect in best ball because when he sucks, he is bad. That's one reason why QJ is pretty valuable in best ball. Because when he's brutal, it's not like you just missed out on like a 10-point game in your lineup just because your flex was like a little bit better. He's not doing anything, but he still has a lot of spike weeks. And so if it's all or nothing, I think in best ball, that's even better. I don't want as many like flat, steady Eddie type of guys, especially when I start off with Jamar Chase and Nico Collins. Every week I'm trusting them in my lineup to give me top 12 numbers at the very least. So ideally we have 2 top 5 options, but Jamison Williams, when he cracks our lineup, he'll hit the top 10 most of the time on the week. So a great like weekly winners play. And then for best ball purposes, definitely good pick in the 5th round. But a lot of good picks in the 5th round. I think that DJ Moore, Josh Allen combo is really nice for Colts 317. So makes that Allen selection look even stronger. Gets the elite double onesie and the combination with DJ Moore got different with Taylor, so he's not behind whatsoever there. I actually like Team 4 a lot. Knowing the problems that can happen at pick 4, I think Team 4 looks really good. But looks like my chat froze. Let me get back to it. The last message I saw is this, and yeah, definitely I missed out on quite a bit. Let me get back to the chat real quick after this pick. Who are my options? I mean, Burrow's still here. If we get sniped on it, so be it. It would be unstacked for Colts, but he has Allen, so no, we get Burrow. Do I push it here? That is the question. Does Game Tight snipe me? Does Gohorns snipe me? I don't think they will, but I think either way I can get a unique combo. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but Jaden Daniels goes 71. I think if I had taken Daniels, there's 3 quarterbacks on the board, but 4 picks. And I don't think both of them would have passed on a double tap. Yeah, even Gohorns pulled up Dak. I think there was a lot of purple coming off the board there. So even unstacked, I'm not convinced I would have gotten Burrow. But to pair him up with Jalen Hurts, that's the unique combination I was kind of looking for. That's what I'll do. Y'all know I like Goddard's value, even unstacked. We will mix it in. Sorry to Daniel Aiden Gill. Pick 6 has the Devontae Smith selection. He's not going to get the stack at 78. But round 7, I'll take Jalen Hurts. I'll take him. Especially after, not just Caleb Williams. He's going above Caleb in the ADP right now. But behind Dak Prescott, I'll do that. Even unstacked, Jalen Hurts, very good pick. But John Tara just got his first badge a week ago. Yeah, John Tara, congrats on the black badge. But appreciate that, Hulk. I believe this is in regards to my Jeopardy win earlier tonight, but appreciate that Hulk smash. Wilson says nice. Joshua says, do you think for best ball drafts, if you go 3 RB start, that you can be done at running back? Feels fragile, but feels good for wide receiver room. Yeah, I mean, that is definitely a bolder stance than I would like to go. I usually don't have less than 4. I think 4 is my minimum. I don't usually want more than 6, but I think 4 is my minimum. While yes, your receiver room feels really good, I think there's just one too many luxury picks that, you know, one injury and now you don't have the flex play. You could just be right, but like, just give yourself one more out, and I think you're doing yourself a service. Even if it's a handcuff, you know, even if it's just to lock up in case this guy gets hurt, I have the next best thing that other people might not have. But I usually want at least 4 that are usually on different teams and are all starters. That's usually how I want to play 4 running back rooms. So if you want to start 4 straight running backs, you can definitely do that and stop. P-Punch did it, and so far the team's looking pretty solid. Cook, Saquon, Brees, and Travis Etienne. I like that way more than if he is going to stop with just those 3 and not Travis. Then he took Christian Watson, Drake May, and Mekhi Lemon, Sam Laporta. If you really want that better wide receiver 1, then take him in the 4th round, but I would mix in at least a 4th somewhere later. I'm not going to sit here and endorse a 3 running back team when I've never done it. I will tell you that. I've never done that, and I don't think it feels great. I think I want the 4th. But not a common Josh, but if you have different bye weeks and stay healthy all year, it could work. I know, yeah. Despite an unorthodox strategy from Team 4, I actually think it's really interesting and not bad at all. The Loveland discount makes it really compelling. If you can guarantee getting Loveland at 45, that's a really fun start from Team 4. He pulled up Godwin. We'll see where he goes in this 8th round. He's got a 1-2-3-1 so far. I've got a 2-2-3-0. I'm probably done at quarterback. But if I just lock up every Chicago Bears running back touch, I feel pretty safe with that. Last year, Monangai had 5 rushing touchdowns, and there were a couple weeks where they both hit. So I think I will bring him in. I don't feel like completely safe with my running back room, but I thought about doing that with Kyron when I took him, just taking Blake Corum and locking it up. An expensive backup, but on a team I really trust, and it is run first. The Bears backfield I don't think is a bad one to just have both. So I'll just grab him here. Game Tight only has 1 running back. Go Horns only has 2, so just get someone I want and then see what the board decides. If I need to reach on another running back at 99, I might do that. But with Pitts off the board, I'm not taking Fannin, so I'm not taking a tight end here, I'll tell you that. I'm done at quarterback, so receiver or running back, I think for value, Pittman's a good pick for me, but maybe I should just take a running back. I don't really want to. I will take Pittman. I know exactly what I'm getting with Pittman, and I've said it earlier in this draft when I took DK Metcalf. I'm not sold that Pittman is any less valuable than Metcalf. And it's not that Metcalf is a bad pick. I think Pittman just might be a much better pick. But I think they should both probably go closer to pick 80, 85, 87. I think they should go both at the 7-8 turn. Metcalf can actually afford to fall 5 picks. I don't think he's the guaranteed lock that some people think he is in the top of the 7th. But yeah, Air Jeff, I agree. Team 4, definitely an interesting team. After Brooks, Godwin, they took Diggs and JCM at the turn. So passed on Jaden Daniels, but wanted to refuse access to Game Tight on Diggs and then paired him up with JCM just to take his 3rd running back. He needs a starter. He goes with that. But Jiri says my team is nuts, and 2 week 17 games. Jiri's a member. We'll take a look now, and then we'll also take a look at the very end. He gets a team review. He has Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Trey McBride is his tight end. Running back room with Genty, Bucky Irving at 62. That's pretty nice. Blake Corum, 86. Receiver room with Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and Quentin motherfucking Johnston. Very fun team from Jiri here. Really, really nice. But Go Horton says, I ain't sniping no naked Burrow. Herbert, on the other hand, at least Herbert runs the ball. But K-Space got sniped on Drake May. It happens, man. He's officially the quarterback 3 in the market. It's been pretty locked in and secure. And I've always kind of felt like he's a fine guy to take anywhere in the 6th, even unstacked. Whether you have AJ Brown or not, you're never guaranteed a Drake May because it's always been a good pick. Tyler Warren, you took him at 55. That would have been interesting. That would have been a bit more unique if you also got Drake May. But Tyler Warren and Jadarian Price also different. Space Cowboy building a unique combo. The pull up on Tyler Warren is not crazy at all. But haven't seen it too often. I will say that. It's pretty rare I see Tyler Warren actually go in the 5th round. But Hartman saying, for the quarterbacks from May to Hurts, would you always take the stacked one if you're only taking one? Are they all the same tier for you? Very good question. Round 6 is interesting. The only ones that I'm like really trying to take stacked up are Burrow and Caleb. But I do think Caleb has a chance to just deliver because he does run it on occasion. But Drake May, I don't need the stack at all. I can justify taking him unstacked. Same with Jaden Daniels, but I'm less excited to do it these days with the offensive line injuries in Washington. But signing Diggs does help. It's a weird flux of information from the Commanders. Some definite green flags, some definite red flags. There's a lot of positives with Daniels, but I'm not fully sold. He does hold up. Last year, one of my finals teams had him on the squad, and he gave me a bagel because he was out. So that kind of stuck with me. There's no guarantee it happens again, but I worry about the left tackle situation a lot. So I've been taking him unstacked less, but the other ones, they're all fine to take stacked or unstacked. Burrow is the one I think you have to take stacked. If you don't have him stacked, it feels wrong to me. Very wrong. But Worthy made it back, but Kyler's still here. However, Rachaad White is also on the board. I will take a safety net with Rachaad. I think he'll still be on the field in pass protection. A slight discount on him at 118. He feels like a pretty mid selection, to be honest, kind of more of a floor play. But speaking of the Laramie Tunsil problem, the injury on the O-line in Washington, that's going to force the running back to chip block a lot more consistently. They're going to need someone that can stand in there and either just protect Jaden Daniels at all costs or slow down a pass rusher and get set up for a quick screen pass that you chug into first downs in the 2-minute drill. I don't trust the Commanders' defense. I think they're going to be in a lot of shootouts, a lot of catch-up mode, a lot of garbage time. I don't think they win a lot of games. So as much as I like JCM, I don't know if he protects Daniels well enough to where Rachaad White never ever gets fully overtaken. On third down specifically, I think Rachaad is very important to stay there. Damn, Kyler's here. I kind of want him, but don't think it fits the team. Don't think it's critical. I have such good receivers. I'm going to pass on Romeo Doubs. I don't have my tight end yet. I'll go Travis Kelce. Kelsey's a pretty reliable, safe bet. If Rashee Rice is banged up right now, I think that's the main benefactor. The Cyrus Allen hype is interesting. I've kind of bought in a little bit myself. I kind of believe in Cyrus Allen just because he's so inexpensive. But if you told me that Rashee Rice sucks and just missed a lot of time this season, I think Travis Kelce will step up the most. I want to believe that Xavier Worthy can do that, but I haven't seen enough consistency out of him. I think I trust Kelce more than Xavier Worthy. They go back to back in this one. Worthy at 122, Kelsey at 123. And had Game Tight not taken Worthy, I think I still would have taken Kelsey over Worthy. Mostly because it's, I think, what my team needed, a tight end first and foremost. But I think I trust it more than Worthy. If we pull up Kelsey, last year he had 155 points. That was definitely top 10 at the position on the season. The year before that, 146. The year before that, 172, and then 261 in 2022. He's not that removed from a 1,300-yard season. But target volume has definitely fallen down a lot lately. He had more yards and touchdown last season, though, than 2 years ago. Meanwhile, Worthy, not that exciting. Last year, only 88 points. We know that Kelsey knocked him out week 1, ran into him in Brazil. And then in 2024, his rookie season, only 157 points. That's what Kelsey put up last season. And my team definitely needed a tight end more than receiver. So I think you can actually project more points for Kelsey than Worthy this season. And I think Kelsey's a very good pick at tight end 10. In this one, he goes after that even. Isaiah Likely and Dalton Kincaid, tight ends 11 and 12, went before him. So I took him at tight end 12 off the board. That feels very safe. Very safe. But what's up, Fancy Dog? Appreciate you for hitting that like button. Number 24 like. Thank you very much. Looks like we're up to 28 at the moment. 28 likes so far. And would love to draft another one. I'm not going to put a like goal. I'm just going to do it. But if y'all are enjoying the content, I would really appreciate if you go down and hit that like button. Free way to support the channel. Helps me in the algorithm on the replay. More folks that might be sleeping right now, let's say on the East Coast, might get it in the morning on the replay if you hit the like button. Very much appreciated. Do your boy a solid. We're not going to take a quarterback, though. Not going to do that. I think Jonah Coleman offers some safety net here. And I also feel very safe expecting Dobbins to get hurt. Now, I do have 3 running backs of the Week 10 bye, but I only have to finish top 4, and so I can probably afford that a little bit more than usual. Perhaps risking a bagel Week 10 is not as punitive, but I still have Rashad White as well as Kyron Williams Week 10. I still think I'm okay. I also plan to take another running back as well. I'm feeling 6 running backs on this team. I think that's what I'm feeling. Because we took a very expensive backup. Locking up every Chicago backfield touch, though, feels very strong. That feels dope. Not many running backs I like at the cost right now, so I think I'm going to pass. But there's part of me that just wants to take Zach Charbonnet in complete, honest faith. That is where my heart wants to go. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust my heart and intuition. I am done at running back, but I don't think Sharps is making it back. And I've talked myself into Zach Charbonnet as one of the best picks on the board right now. Especially with Bigsby off the board. Now that Kamara's down, there's not that many guys I think can give you 10 touchdowns. Last year, Kenneth Walker, the Super Bowl MVP that signed a $14 million contract with the Kansas City Chiefs, only had 5 rushing touchdowns. And the reason for that is because Zach Charbonnet had 12. Zach Charbonnet, I think, will get the goal line usage. And the reports I have seen are that he is more likely to be back by week 4 than he is to be placed on the PUP. And even if they do place him on the PUP, you're telling me he's back by week 6? Lock it in, baby. Zach Charbonnet will be healthy for week 10, will help me out. And in the fantasy playoffs, specifically against the Panthers week 17, he will be scoring a touchdown. I trust Zach Charbonnet in the money weeks. And if I am wrong, so be it. So be it if I'm wrong. But John Tara, what a Stribling pull. Stribling went... Where did he go? He went 107 here. He went at 107 over Wandale, over Jacoby Myers. I mean, who's to say he shouldn't just go where Ricky Pearsall was going? In the 90s. Probably going to see that pretty soon on Stribling. But Rashad pinged a hammy. That sucks. But John Tara, mid players on bad teams in my mantra this draft. Let's take a look at John Tara so far. Took CMC, Devon Achane. That's a good start. Ladd and Garrett Wilson. He's an elite player on a bad team, but Quinchon Judkins, Brian Thomas Jr., Justin Herbert, that doesn't qualify. Josh Downs, kind of. Brock Purdy, George Kittle, not quite. At 128, Romeo Dobbs is a steal. Tyler Algier, 137. A little expensive, but kind of understand it. Tyjae Spears at 152, and then Hunter Henry, 161. Good luck, but looks like somebody drafted Higgins at 150. Bummer. That is a bummer. But Gohorn says, everyone thinks it's from when he slipped after the Ice Bucket Challenge. Is that what happened to Rashad? Oh, come on, Rashad. God damn it. If that's how it happened, that's a big disappointment. That is brutal. But this lobby appropriately fading quarterbacks. Stroud there, but I think at this point he's on the thumbnail for a reason. I'm going to go Dalton Schultz first. I only have Travis Kelce. We're going to go Dalton Schultz at 166. We mentioned it on that team we reviewed last time that had Fannin and Schultz. That felt good enough to be fine with. Schultz in this range after A.J. Barner? Yeah, give me Schultz for sure. Barner scored 7 total touchdowns last year. Will that repeat? Who knows? But Schultz volume feels locked in right now. Lock it in. If anything, this is a CJ Stroud team perhaps. I have Nico and I have Schultz. But I only have 4 receivers. Holy shit, what am I doing? Let's just take Pat Bryant. Whoa. I only have 4 receivers so far? I need some receivers. If anything, I'd rather take Davis Mills than take CJ Stroud on this team. We mentioned the upside. I didn't get into it because it was my pick and I totally forgot. I totally fucking blanked. Okay, here's the splits. Points per game in Houston. Jaden Higgins on the season averaged 6.4 points per game in 17 weeks. 14 of those games he played with CJ Stroud. In those games, he averaged 5.5 points with CJ Stroud. Dog shit numbers. However, in the 3 weeks with Davis Mills, he averaged 10.7 points per game. The numbers literally doubled with Davis Mills under center as opposed to CJ Stroud. So Stroud was holding Jaden Higgins back, and perhaps he will hold back the entire Texans offense. Perhaps they have a better chance of winning with Davis Mills. They have a better fantasy outlook with Davis Mills, I'll tell you that. I genuinely believe that. For everyone except Tank Dell. Tank Dell needs Stroud. Stroud also loves him. He's his boy. I think he's going to force feed Tank Dell the ball a little bit in the beginning of the year. Tank Dell, speaking of, goes at 176. A fair click right now. No issue with it whatsoever. But I definitely needed a receiver there. I've ignored receiver for a while. The Pittman selection really coming in clutch. But we're trusting Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Jamo, and Pittman. I think we're fine in the starting lineup. Pat Bryant on this team. Very important, though, that he stays healthy, actually. I might just take three more receivers. I actually worry a little bit that I need 8 receivers on this team, not just 7. But given the trust factor with Jamar Chase and Nico, I'll probably stick with 7. I think I still want another tight end, perhaps, We have a high floor with Kelsey and Schultz, but shooting for a random upside swing super late might be the play. And I think I know which direction I would like to go. Not going to spoil it. Maybe y'all already have an idea. But I'll tell you this. It's not Eli Stowers. I'll tell you that. It's pretty much never been Stowers. I think I've clicked Stowers twice in the regular season drafts just as a hedge, just as a fade on my Goddard bags. But it felt gross both times. It felt like I was cheating. And never again. We're not taking Stowers. If Stowers beats me, so be it. I will let that happen. I'm not afraid of Eli Stowers coming back to haunt me. All right, Gadsden is falling. I'm so pissed I missed the Gadsden answer on Best Ball Jeopardy earlier today. That one was nice, but I might put Devon Vele on this team. Shout out Bayou Bengal. I think I will. He's fine. You have to play someone opposite Tyson. Tyson going down has to be good for someone else. I'll go Devon Vele. Mix him in. But Judy Ridley. Ridley's an interesting trade candidate, but probably not to Houston just because of the division rivalry. Tennessee and Houston probably not going to make a trade with one another. But maybe the Titans don't care. Maybe they just want a draft pick, and I'm sure Houston would be kind of interested. So who knows what happens on that. But Ridley is very live to be traded. So is Jerry Jeudy. Both of them I could easily envision on the move. I think Ridley actually has the better contract to move. It's more expensive, but it's only a 1-year deal. It does expire this offseason. Jeudy is locked in for 1 more year, but is much younger. Ridley is also kind of injury riddled at the moment. The injury riddler, but I'm going to take him. I'm going to take him on this one. There's a world where he's like showcased for the purpose of that trade. I also think I'm getting a lot of points at running back in the flex. In all honesty, I actually think this Coleman Charbonnet combo is actually pretty nice. And I think on a weekly basis, especially down the stretch, first 4 games, I think Rashad has like a chance to like just stay on the field and like prove what he's got. It'll slowly trickle away from him. I don't think it's overwhelmingly in favor of JCM immediately. That's my guess. But by week 5, it's possible that Rashad White is really not that involved other than garbage time and 2-minute drill. And hopefully Kyron just needs to stay healthy, I think. I think as long as Kyron stays healthy, I'll get the points from Coleman and Charbonnet later in the year to fix things if I'm trailing a little bit. I think they'll come in handy, but Rashad hopefully isn't required in my early season lineup too much because we're not getting much out of Monungai early on. And hopefully Swift just kind of consolidates a lot of work. Maybe if Monungai misses like a month, that'd be perfect, actually. Workhorse production out of Swift for a month, and then Monungai comes in and still has like 6 touchdowns on the season. That would be nice. But I also want to trust Ben Johnson when he says I want the highest scoring offense in league history. If that's the goal, we want some Chicago Bears. If that is going to be taken at face value, you want some Chicago Bears. But Britton Brown goes 203 from Jerry's perspective. What does he know that we don't? Britton Brown, have not seen that yet. But I took Vele. Britton Brown, I do know is, I think, above Bryce Lance on the depth chart. I do believe there is that factoring in. So I don't hate it. You have Tyler Shuck. You did not get Vele, so got to pivot. I genuinely didn't realize you had Tyler Shuck and that I was sniping you, Jerry. I just think Vele was a good pick for me. That's why I took him. But we will see tomorrow on the Texans ESPN game. Are the Texans playing tomorrow? Right. We're back in week 2 of the preseason on Thursday. Nice. John Tara goes Njoku. Is that with Herbert? It is. John Tara mixing it in as well. I like it. I like the Njoku play. High upside. Gadsden goes at 207. They feel like they deserve to go back-to-back. If not, Gadsden just undrafted. Njoku, I think, should be taken above Gadsden right now. Not saying we need to reach on him in round 15 or 14. But there's a world where he does deliver that type of value. But I'm grateful that y'all did not take my plan. Fryermuth is here. I could just take the fall, but I want to get different. I want to have a little bit more fun. I'm going to bring in Eric All. I think he'll overtake Gesicki this year. I think he's poised to be the tight end 1. It's more of a committee there anyways, but I think Eric All has more upside than Mike Gesicki. We'll go Eric All and have some fun here. Travis Kelce, Dalton Schultz can get it done on their own. Eric All, very nice fun play. Let's say T. Higgins goes down, and we have an elite piece with Eric All stacked with Joe Burrow. So Burrow, double stack with Jamar Chase and Eric All. An undrafted guy is always fun. Jalen Hurts completely unstacked, though. That's fine with me. He can just drop 3 rushing touchdowns any week. That's fine with me. Past ADP, I'll just take him. Kyron Williams, though, needs to stay healthy and needs to drop 10-plus touchdowns again. I think he will. DeAndre Swift with Kyle Monunga. Every week I have the Bears backfield, so that feels safe. Rashad White, past ADP, so no complaints, but feels kind of mid. Not going to lie, just a bit mid. Better in full PPR, no doubt. Jonah Coleman, though, and Zach Charbonnet, late season plays with tremendous upside, as well as like high floors. We could get like 10 touchdowns out of both of them on the season, perhaps. But hopefully Charbonnet's healthier than expected. If he is, I have very good depth at running back. But Jamar Chase with the stack, Nico Collins after the Jaden Higgins injury feels a little bit better, but probably a wash in terms of overall increased value. We got JMO, so as long as he's healthy, that's a great piece in our lineup. Michael Pittman for the floor, perfect complement to JMO. And then Pat Bryant, we got a little bit behind the 8 ball, just wanted targets and points. Bryant feels like a great pick right now. Devon Vele, also valuable. And then Calvin Ridley at 195. Hopefully gets traded, but also just might be more of a factor than people think. Travis Kelce, Dalton Schultz, a lot of volume with these two. Hopefully more touchdowns than last year, but high threshold for floor points. Schultz feels like one of the best picks at tight end right now on the board. I think he's the main benefactor of Higgins going down. But Eric All in Cincinnati, the unique play, like we mentioned, the undrafted guy in Cincinnati. Kind of fun. All right, let's complete the team review for Jiri's team. He's saying all the money in the finals in this tourney, swing for the fences and get unique. My team is nuts. He's got Lamar Jackson and Tyler Shuck. The Bengals matchup and the Falcons matchup, really good spots for both those quarterbacks. Week 17. Genty against the Cardinals should be great week 17. Bucky against the Rams. Not sure I trust that, but the bring back with Blake Corum, you never know. Those two guys just might have the backfield all of themselves because of injuries, and it might be a shootout game. So the bring back at least, but the Bucky Irving matchup, maybe not my preference. Dobbins probably injured week 17, so even against the Patriots, a bad matchup last year. Not sure I care, but will help you advance a Blake Corum team through. Kalen Black, the truly elite upside swing at 179. Totally worth the pull-up. Get your guys season. That is the round to do it. Ray Davis, also elite handcuff contingency play. Love the running back room. Despite Bucky being there, it was at 62. Gotta take it. Fits in nicely. Wishing for the best. Jefferson in the second always feels solid. T. Higgins, my team kind of, like I said with Eric All, maybe T. Higgins gets hurt, so that's one way where my team works out, but Higgins always a good pick. Quentin Johnston at 83, that's nice. Dejon Stribling at 107. You're the one who took Stribling. Like I said, maybe he should just go where Pearsall went back in the 90s. It wouldn't be crazy. Rashid Shaheed, Jacoby Lane, Dontavian Wicks, Barry and Brown. Okay, I missed the first name. I got the first name wrong. It's Barry and Brown. I thought it was Britton Brown. It's B Brown. Who knows? You also took Bryce Lance. You just want one of them. You have no other stacks with Shuck, and you only took McBride. You only took McBride. Ballsy. Shout out Bindles. That's ballsy. Trey McBride, your only tight end, but only need to finish top 4. I don't mind it. The receiver room has a lot of options. Was Barry and Brown better than a tight end, though? Was he better than a tight end? That I'm not sure about. Maybe just take Oscar Delp at that point. But I'm just teasing you, Jerry. Very fun team. You did pass on a really good pocket of tight ends to get Jacoby Lane stacked up. You really like Dontavian Wicks, I guess. You just didn't want a tight end too. And that's kind of justified in the 4 of 12 advance. And you get no money there. Very fair, Jerry. Very fair point. Good luck with just Trey McBride. But, all right. We also had Hilltoppers in here, P-Punch in here, John Tara, Space Cowboy, and Game Tight Go Horns. We got a bunch of team reviews. Shit. Okay. Appreciate y'all for being members. This might take a few minutes, though. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Vele has Bayou Bengal pajamas. Yeah, his number one fanboy, his biggest cheerleader, Bayou Bengal, has been right the whole time. But Nesto, I'm Team 4, got a little weird with it. Nesto, there's a lot of members, so if you want the team review, just letting you know, might need to join the blunt rotation. Because there's like 6 or 7 other people who get one. But hopefully it's possible neither of them have more than 2 touchdowns, though. But we'll see. Could be Jalen Polk's year. I doubt it, but still holding out some hope on Jalen Polk. Keep the big shooter. Barry and Brown having a great camp. Could hit 4 big plays this year for the Saints. We'll see. Mixed dribbling with Fries. The plan was only 1 tight end. Gotcha, K-Space. If you insist, but there's a bunch of them. Hilltoppers has Malik Willis, Cam Ward, Bryce Young. Very mid. Chase Brown, Omarion Hampton, Travion Henderson, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. Pretty good. Pretty good. Chuba Hubbard at 108. Could just be a bad pick, though. Might have just wanted a quarterback given how mid the rest of the room is. I think quarterback over Chuba Hubbard, I would have liked more, honestly. Tet is stacked. Egbuka unstacked. Carnell Tate is stacked. Addison unstacked. I know Kyler fell big time in this. Wandale is stacked. Tesla and Judy both unstacked at the moment. But Goddard, great pick. Dulcich, fine pick, but has been going like undrafted a few times I've seen. And then Gunnar Helm at 204. Decent pick. Kind of mid, though. Tight end 3, it's whatever. I think I might have preferred Darren Waller over Greg Dulcich on this team. Get a little unique with it. Tesla also is at a terrible camp. Sounds like he might be really bad. Kind of worthless, perhaps, but yeah, not sure. Not sure. All right. Swap out Chuba for a quarterback. I think that's how you fix this team. I think Baker would fit. Stafford would be really solid. Really anything, just to get the points. You might make it work with Malik Willis, Cam Ward, and Bryce Young, but I think of all the picks to take, Chuba Hubbard, there's a world where he's just really not worth this, even close to it, possibly. Like, there's a chance he still is one of the most overpriced handcuffs in the NFL. It's possible that that's still the case on Chuba. So I think he can still fall dramatically. If you told me he went right next to Woody Marks and Tyrone Tracy, I wouldn't be shocked at all. So, Yeah, the Chuba pick, I think, is where I don't like your choice. I think give me a quarterback there, and I like this team more. But that's just me. We'll see. It's 4 out of 12. Good luck. Anything is possible. P-Punch just became a member. Looks like you re-upped. I appreciate that, P-Punch. Thank you very much. Welcome to the blunt rotation. There's a rip from the pipe with your name on it. Let's excuse me. Let's light up. We're not even live for 2 hours yet. My voice is starting to break. Damn. That's not a good sign. We got the whole season still left. Man, I'm going to take a big break in January. I tell you that. But let's take a look at P-Punch's team. Let's get it. P-Punch with Drake May, Patty Mahomes, Jared Goff. Elite quarterback room, but to finish top 4, maybe a little bit unnecessary to have all 3 that expensive. But 4 running backs with James Cook, Saquon Barkley, Breece Hall, and Travis Etienne. You took 4 straight in the first 4 rounds. Stopping there makes a lot of sense, but that's a lot of money spent on other positions than receiver. This, I think, could be problematic. Christian Watson, Mekhi Lemon, Khalil Shakir, Trey Tucker, Keenan Allen, Jawan Jennings, Ted Hurst, and Tyquan Thornton feels really mid. I am maybe too old to be saying the word mid, but that's just kind of how I feel. Shakir and Keenan are pretty low upside plays. Laporta, Ferguson, Gadsden, last round Gadsden. Ooh, this is definitely not built to be pretty, but I think on a player take standpoint, I like some different names in the ranges that you took them. That's, I think, what receiver doesn't give me much confidence. I don't even know if it's like fine. It feels a little bit grosser than fine. Like, it's not disgusting, but it just doesn't quite feel like the league winning combination. I'll tell you that. That's what my gut is telling me. I don't like the receiver room, but every other room is phenomenal. That could just be enough. Every other room is phenomenal. That's the way to play a 3-4-8-3. One of the positions is going to be ugly. It's probably receiver. It's definitely ugly. But Jason says Polk has retired. Yo, R.I.P. Jalen Polk. But you can skip mine too if you need. John Tara says it's a bit garbage. If you insist, John Tara, that's one less team review. We're skipping John Tara and Space Cowboy. But if you guys change your mind before we move on, let me know. But that expedites it. We got Game Tight and Go Horns in here. Game Tight trying to get 100 drafts with me on stream. He's getting very close to that number. I believe Game Tight has to have cracked 95 at this point. A few days ago, I checked that he was at 92. And this, I think, puts him at 95, if not 96. But Daniels, Tua, and Penix. So every Falcon, I know he has the Bijan and Drake London combo. Also took Brian Robinson. So every Falcon, basically. You also took Kyle Pitts. Phenomenal. That's definitely worth it. Every single Falcon. Commit to the bit. Jordan Mason, Chris Rodriguez, Mike Washington, Brian Robinson, and Braylon Allen. So the depth behind Bijan is kind of thin. This team really needs Bijan. And honestly, I don't mind it. Mason at 98, a little expensive for me, but very critical for just having points and bodies to fill it in. But RB2 every week with Mason and Rodriguez, a little gross. A little bit gross. Let's see the rest of the team, though. It's not done. London, Flowers at 26. Terry at 47. Burden at 50. Nice in the 5th. I would have taken him, but I took JMO happily. Metcalf at 74. Like I mentioned, I prefer the discount on Pittman, but Metcalf is fine. It's just a gross round to take anything other than quarterback, in my view. The onesies are the play. I think I prefer Kraft over Metcalf, but Xavier Worthy at 122, probably worth it, but I'm happy with my Kelsey selection straight up over him if I had to do that. I got Kelsey one pick after, though. Naylor at 146. I'm not understanding the Naylor hype as much as other people, but I guess there's just no other competition really other than Bowers. Trey Tucker's never felt like that solid. Who knows? Maybe Naylor is actually that good. But Kyle Pitts and Chigo Okonkwo, a little thin. Might not be enough, but both of them stack, so no complaints. The Terry Chigo Okonkwo stack should be fine. Fun team. I'm not sure Brian Robinson is fully critical on this one, to be honest with you. Like, if you made B-Rob a tight end, I actually think I might like this team just a little bit more. Just because you're so invested in Bijan, maybe we don't need his handcuff. I don't usually take them together, but if he's just as good as Algier, it's a worthwhile pick. Good luck, sir. Good luck. I don't mind it. Very fun Atlanta Falcons mega. If that's all you need, I definitely don't have it. But go Horns, we got Caleb and Dak. Pulled up Dak with Pickens. Has Gibbs, Monty, Kenny Gainwell, Bigsby, and Jaden Blue. Very fun running back. No complaints there. Love the trio up top, and then elite contingency upside with Bigsby and Blue. All or nothing bets in a good offense. What can go wrong? Pickens, Olave. Like the pull up on Olave there. Rome Odunze, Matthew Golden. Odunze on this side of the board. Very fun, and you did get Caleb to make it back, so phenomenal for you. And then Denzel Boston, Kayshawn Booty, Rashad Bateman, and Jade Walker. Fun team. Golden at 96. We saw him at like 122, yes, in the previous draft. So a little expensive, but I like Matthew Golden. I think he should go around pick 101, 103 the whole time. So as he's been rising, it makes sense. Taking him at 96, just get him. You're at the turn. It is justified. No issue with it on my part. Boston, Kayshawn Booty, Bateman, and Walker. It's fun. How valuable is Jade Walker? Who knows? But yeah, the depth should work out, especially if Boston is the truth. Good pick. Likely at 120, Kincaid at 121. You passed on Kelsey, but perhaps higher upside any given week with those two. T-Ferg, you just want upside. That's all you want. You did not care for the floor at tight end. You wanted elite upside in best ball. I respect it. I respect it. Very fun team. The depth is not maybe the strength of this team, but the starting roster is fucking lit. So very strong in the starting roster. Let's hope the health stays intact. If that happens, I see this team as a playoff team. Good health, and this team I think is in the playoffs. Definitely can finish top 4 if everyone stays healthy. All right, I think that's it. I think we can move on. And we'll draft in the Hound Dog one more time. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Just give you all a sec to refresh. I'll definitely drop the 10-second timer. But let me catch up with the chat. That is what she said. Roy Q, what should my goal going to an 8-man league full PPR from the 103 draft look like? 8-man league from the 103 full PPR. If you get Bijan, if you get Gibbs, take it. But otherwise, take Jamar Chase and just try to get some studs. Pull up a Josh Allen if you want. Pull up a really good tight end. If you want to set up a Bowers Josh Allen team, go for it. The onesies don't have the same depth as the other positions. So get some elite running backs, get some elite onesies. And if you want to get a alpha receiver and then wait a long time, that's also a really good strategy and something like that. That'd be my stance. Go Jamar Chase and then don't take another receiver until like Rome Odunze comes off the board. Something like that. Like at the very minimum, wait that long for like wide receiver 30, 34, 35. Wait a while on wide receiver 2. But it is full PPR. Maybe you might not want to do that. Take running backs. They catch a lot of passes. But gotcha, K-Space. I mean, if you're in the next one, we'll definitely not skip it on the second one. But John Taro, same mindset. Roy says, I'm thinking about taking Jamar Chase, then Chase Brown over Derrick Henry and Saquon and Hampton on my next turn. Yeah, Jamar Chase, 2 more running backs. That is definitely the play. No doubt about it. But appreciate that. Smash that like button if y'all are enjoying. And subscribe if you're new. But fun team until Cooper Rush is starting week 1. That's not going to happen. Gotcha, Go Horns. Yeah, if you like him, now's the time to get him. Okay, we caught up with the chat. I'm going to do one quick plug, though, just in case you have not subscribed to the channel, you're new. A quick reminder, there is a deal, a promo code available on Underdog. Using promo code BLUNT, you get $50 in bonus entries after you play your first 5. New customers apply, terms apply, and your location does matter. It's not eligible in all 50 states, but for the most part, Underdog is available in just about every territory near you. And if you use promo code BLUNT, you get $50 in bonus entries along with your first deposit matched up to $1,000 by 50%. So let's say you have $100, you put it in, they give you 50 right up front as the deposit match. Then you enter your first Hound Dog for, let's say, $6, or you spend $5 elsewhere, you'll get an extra 50. So a 1-for-1 technically on a $100 deposit with the deposit match and the extra $50. Have to be a new customer. Link is in the description. Promo code BLUNT on sign up. But that's it for the promo. Let's get going. Drafting in 12 seconds.
Nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, rank up, inhale, exhale, points rail, nice and blunt, torch up, nice and blunt, burn up, nice and blunt, victor, inhale, exhale, points rail.
Let's go. This lobby's full. But you're welcome, Roy. And yeah, Leia makes herself known on occasion. She found the pencil and she wants to play fetch. I'm gonna throw this pencil and it's gonna come back to me. Watch. Damn it. I threw it and she just missed that it left my hand. When she sees it, she always goes after it. I got pick 11. I got a second. All right, take 2. Take 2. All right, I just threw it. I don't have it. I do not have it. Bring it back. She's looking. Come on, bring it back. Come on. I hyped it up. Come on. I did throw it. She doesn't see it. I trust she'll find it though. Nah, she gave up on it. Damn. So close. Perhaps she just doesn't want to perform. Perhaps she knows that there's a camera involved, but she's back. She did not bring it back, but she is back. All right, let me try one more time. I'm gonna try with the red pencil this time. I'm gonna try with the red pencil. Like, see, she is trying to get this thing. Let me go full frame. See? And she's got claws. I don't claw this cat almost ever. She's got sharp claws. She watched me throw it. You want to go get it? No? Okay. Okay. Of all the times not to comply.
Nice and blunt, torch up.
Bummer. All right. We still have not selected our first pick. But if anything, maybe I should just stay on the wide frame. I've been trying to increase my CeeDee Lamb exposure over the last couple days. I'll go CeeDee Lamb here at 11, and then we'll see what John Tara decides. But okay, now she wants the lighter. And again, she just watches me throw it. She doesn't go get it. I'm not sure what's going on. But she's got food. She's got water. I cleaned the litter box earlier today. There's food in abundance. I think she just wants me to get off YouTube. That's probably what's going on. She probably just wants me to get off YouTube. Yep, that's a good sign. I'll go Derrick Henry with CeeDee Lamb on this one. Just a slightly lesser owned combination of mine. I have plenty of CeeDee Lamb and Hampton together. I don't love the Saquon pick as much, and I'm sure I already have it. I don't think I have a CeeDee Lamb Derrick Henry team, and I like mixing in Derrick Henry all over the place. There's nothing that proves he should be the last running back off the board in the second round. So despite not wanting to fade Hampton, I also like Derrick Henry's matchup a lot week 17 against the Bengals, and I also really trust him. So the Ravens do too. He's signed not just this year, but next year. Derrick Henry's fine at 14. We get different, but man, Wabi getting a good price on Hampton. Congrats, Seth. Wabi took JSN at 6 and Hampton at 19. Very nice reward. P-Punch did not want him. P-Punch went AJ Brown over Hampton. Let's remind y'all who's in this lobby with me. We got Jimmy Futons at the 101. Hilltoppers at the 102. It's I at the 103, Odunikin at the 4, Sam Witt at the 5, Wabi Seth has pick 6, P-Punch back in here at pick 7, J-Rock the Party at the 8 slot, Game Tight has pick 9, J Gall Day has pick 10, I got the 11 slot, and then Jantara has pick 12. Good luck, gentlemen. Good luck. But yeah, Cats. You know, people like to say that, like, they got that dog in them, you know, like, and that's like, it's like a compliment. That's like a, you know, like a really strong-willed thing. But, like, if you really think about it, well, yes, there's a lot of great things about being a dog. Dogs are kind of obedient, especially compared to cats. Like, if anything, they're one of the most obedient animals, like, there is. Like, of all mentalities to have, obedient, not exactly where I wanna fall, but that necessarily isn't what people mean by that phrase. But that's what it makes me think of sometimes. The cat is not obedient. The cat you can develop a relationship with and, you know, maybe domesticate a little bit, but they will never be truly obedient. They do their own thing. They march to the beat of their own drum. The dog, though, we are on the dog app, so it is what it is. But this cat dad is happy with what we got. I've had dogs before, have had cats before. Cats are nowhere near as obedient. That is for sure. Yeah, I'll just go T. Higgins. The bring back with Derrick Henry. Bengals and Ravens game. We get the bring back there. I genuinely, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to take a second quarterback. I'm only going to take Allen. I'm going to try it. I'm going to go with just Allen. We saw Jerry do it with just Trey McBride. I'm going to try it with just Allen. This is the format I think you can definitely have a Josh Allen solo and get away with it. Because, like, we all still kind of agree, right? Like, he's still just clearly QB1, right? Like, even if it's still too expensive, he still finishes the year with the most points at the position, right? That's kind of what we all believe. So, can that give me a top 4 finish among all teams in this pod? You know there's going to be a week where he drops like 50 at some point, you know? Like, at some point, that's probably going to happen. So, if this is the year where he just gets hurt, then bummer. But I'm not expecting that. I'm going to risk it. I'm probably only going to take Josh Allen. I don't know if I'm going to take a second one. I might cave at some point. But looking at Jerry's team, given the advanced structure in this and how you have to finish, I wasn't displeased with Jerry's strategy. It felt kind of worth your time to just try every now and then. So Allen, Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb, and T. Higgins. That's my starting lineup. That sounds pretty good. Week 17, here we come. Given the advanced structure, I think you kind of just have to assume that, like, you are building a shipper. You know, you're instantly building a team that's in the championship week, and you're alive against the other 990 teams. If anything, you'll have 2 teams in the fucking final. If anything, you're advancing 2 of your 10 teams. How many can you max this? 10 entry max. Yeah, you can do 10 of them for $60. If you make the final, you get $30. So 2 of them are going to make the final, right? That's the assumption. That's how you break even. And then one of them is going to finish bad. One of them is going to finish in like the top 300 and only make $50. But then the other one is going to finish really nice. The other one's going to finish like 3rd or 2nd or 1st. And you get at least 5K. That's the idea, right? Well, that good one's going to be the Josh Allen team against the Dolphins. But no, I've never had a dog like that. Definitely not. Definitely not. Right on cue. Got that honey badger in him. I'm sure there's some dogs that are not the same, but you know, which dog are we talking? All cats, I think don't necessarily apply. I will go Romadunze. My cat's tripping. Cat's not sure what I'm doing. We got Romadunze on the team. Rip time? Probably. Yo, I didn't take Parker Washington. Oh, shit. I didn't take Parker Washington. Oh, no. But basically, 1/4 make the final. Those are good odds. We'll go Tyler Warren against the Browns. Could be some weird weather, but they should dominate. I'll go Tyler Warren. I don't want Carnell Tate against Joey Porter Jr. in the final week. That's not a good matchup. If anything, BTJ or Parker Washington against the Commanders was like the best matchup you could find there. But we got T. Higgins against the Ravens, the bring back against Derrick Henry, CeeDee Lamb against the Giants, Josh Allen against the Dolphins, and then Romadunze against the Lions, Tyler Warren against the Browns. But Jerry says, really high thought. If we do a show together, we should call it High Rollers. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Jerry. I like that. Very nice. We will put that in the bank. We will be in touch, Jerry. Planning for the future. I like it. Mr. Whiskers. Well, Leia's a girl. Leia would be Mrs. Whiskers. Or Miss Whiskers. She doesn't have a husband. She's She's a single bachelorette. Miss Whiskers. Honestly, the way she's looking back at me, she don't mind it. But that's kind of, I think, how you also need to play one of these types of teams if you're gonna. I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna commit to just Josh Allen. You know, there might be one pick that I just can't pass up on randomly, but I kind of just want to commit to only Josh Allen. But it might make somebody else's team that much better. It might be helpful to have the second quarterback. It might be, because we are going to take the bagel at week 7. There is that, but it's not the end of the world. Having the other elite onesie, I think, makes it also a little nicer. But we shall see what I choose. What's the over-under on me caving and taking a second quarterback? If the over-under on this team was 1.5 quarterback, how many of y'all would hit the over? How many of y'all are hitting the under? Let's set a poll. Plus, minus 1.5 QBs on this team. Will I hold strong? The poll is coming in. But Crumb saying the over, PD plus. Always here for the kiddies. Where's best ball on call for the cats? There has to be some type of live stream where you can just get kittens like instantly. You know, there's probably some TikTok page that does that, but like, sadly, like, you find out it's like some breeding farm or some shit, and it's like, oh god, no, just let the kittens live on their own time. But we're thin on running back. We're gonna go Rico Dowdle. Against the Titans week 17. Has a 30-pointer in his bag. Not sure what Jantara is going to do here, but Rico Dowdle going to help me out. I need some running back points. We only have Derrick Henry so far. That's the problem with the double elite onesie. You have to fade one other position. We at least have 3 receivers, but could easily fall behind at running back if I don't address it soon. So at 83, give me Rico Dowdle. Preventing Jantara from sniping me. Feels like one of the last bastions of true hope and confidence remaining. RJ Harvey goes, I will bring in Sam Laporta. I'm going to go double elite tight end. We might stop with those 2, but at the very least, I feel really strong about that. I'm going to go bully tight end and make it maybe more palatable if I do take the second quarterback. I almost took Justin Herbert just for fun. We did not take Dak, though. We left Dak on the board. So far, most of the votes are saying over on 1.5 quarterbacks. But there are some believers. I will stick to my guns and only take Allen. There's a couple of y'all. We'll see what happens, though. But Sladen says, imagine traveling back to 2025 and telling yourself in 2026 Harbaugh would bring in Najee for goal line and pass pro and find Matt Nagy, the man who tried to make Fields a pocket passer, to ruin Dart. What a time to be alive. I mean, back-to-back years, Najee Harris has convinced a Harbaugh that he is worth their time. Back-to-back seasons where the Harbaughs have faith in Najee, but at least he's survived the 4th of July this season. Last year he did not. At least there's that. At least there's a world where Najee has his vision back, but if anything, he just needed as much time as possible to get his vision right. We still haven't seen him like without a visor. I feel like whenever he's been on the field, his visor is like really, really preventing you from seeing his eyes. He might be hiding something. It might actually be an eye patch. What if he's like a Cyclops out there? What if he's blinder and worse at pass protection than Tyrone Tracy was over the weekend? I'm not sure. But Jantara taking the under. You pull something and are out for the season. We'll see. We'll see. But Jiri, I'm probably the only under. Jiri has faith. We were inspired by Jiri. High roller over here. Speaking of which, I promised y'all a hit from the pipe. I did not take it. Let's go. That one was weak, but if you recall, I threw the lighter for the cat to go chase after, and she did not. I have another lighter, but it took me a minute to find it. So, the problem with this bowl I packed was that it was on top of a mostly smoked one before, so there was a very deceptive amount of weed in there. It was not as full as I thought. That rip was rather weak. But should we mix up the music? I think so. Let's play the other song. Let's play the other song. I think 35 decibels is the sweet spot that we found on this one. But Halloween and Thanksgiving coming up. Hopefully he doesn't choke on anything. You never know. I think he'll be all right. I think Najee will stay away from the explosive. It's really just the explosive holidays that make you worried a little bit. But all right, I would have taken Alec Pierce there had he been available. I would have totally bought the dip. Is this a Chuba Hubbard team? Fuck. Oh, God, I think it is. I think it is. Damn it. Damn it. No! I'm going to go Wandale first. Oh, shit. Damn it. If I didn't need receiver, too, I would have just taken Chuba, but fuck. I don't really want either of them there. Wandale makes the most sense, though. Higher floor play. I kind of want to just pull up Dalton Kincaid here, to be completely honest with you. I really don't want to take a running back whatsoever. So if I go Kincaid, that's pretty worthless. Damn it! All the good prices are. I'll just take Chuba. Fine. Damn it! I'm not liking this team too much. But what if Brooks just gets hurt? There's also that. There's still that. But I shit on somebody else taking Chuba Hubbard in the last draft at like 106, 107, 110. At least like there's 20 picks before he makes it back. But like I said on that other one, I think he can fall another 20 picks. I think he can go next to Tyrone Tracy, who arguably should be going at like 150. So Chuba Hubbard 110. It's just catching the very slow falling sword. It feels terrible. This is a weird team. And at this point, I think the more strange it feels, the more I now have the desire of taking another running back for depth purposes. I will need receiver depth too. I think it's more likely that I go under on 2 quarterbacks. I don't think I'm going to hit 2 quarterbacks, because there was like the big pivot point. To pass on quarterback at that turn was tough. It is such a gross range otherwise. So that took some some faith in the concept, we're letting it happen. But watch me take Rodgers or some shit, just because he's like still there at like 204 or something. He's probably still going to be on the board at pick 200, and I'll probably cave and just take Rodgers. But all right, quick recap of the team. We're only 10 rounds in. It's not done. But Josh Allen's our quarterback and plans to be the only quarterback. Derrick Henry, Rico Dowdle, and Chuba Hubbard. Wide receiver with CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, and Wan'Dale Robinson. Really top-heavy receiver room. Starting lineup feels good. And then tight end, we get some flex points with the bully strategy. Tyler Warren and Sam Laporta. It's probably the bully tight end strategy. It's probably the Laporta pick. If Laporta was a running back, if Laporta was R.J. Harvey, but he went one pick earlier, if he was Blake Corum, I think I might like this team better, but we're stuck with Chuba. Gross. I really want to take Kelsey, but I think... Actually, no. We'll shoot for upside. We'll go Keaton Mitchell on this one. The reports have been good. I still really trust Hampton, but I passed on him earlier. So furthering that thesis, I don't want no shares of Keaton Mitchell. This is a team where the logic makes a bit more sense. I'm thin at running back, so give me more points there. I'll be honest. I really want to take Travis Kelce. I really do. Shakir stacks up, though, in such a gross way. Fuck it. We ride. We go Travis Kelce, 134. Big discount on him. And I also really like his Week 17 matchup. The bring back with Keaton Mitchell against the Chargers. He owns them. Kelce might just be the guy that you need Week 17. I could totally see that, where he drops like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. Totally could see that. We'll find out. But Disbanded says, Najee and Njoku have those 6 degrees of separation with... I know, I get... That's funny. We swapped one out for the other, and the running back needs his eyesight, needs his vision. Njoku, I guess it's not exactly... Was it fireworks that blew his face off? Like, he had like a... I thought it was like a cooking accident or something. With Njoku, he had like 3rd-degree burns on his face. Something weird happened. It might have been fireworks now that you mention it, but I thought it was like a cooking accident. I might be way off base there. I don't quite remember. Yeah. Harbaugh brothers like the 1st-degree burn correlation, I guess. The weed always lets you know, but Kiro, I'm in an 8-man league. I was offered Saquon and Waddle for Jettas. Should I do it? Yeah, why not? Sure. Jettas could be brutal. Kyler could be awesome, but he also might just get hurt again. And as soon as we pivot back to 9, yikes. So not only do you get Saquon, who just goes a couple picks behind him, in an 8-man league, I think the running back values are even better. So I think I would take Saquon over Jettas in an 8-team league in the first place. Now, if you're full PPR, you might not want to do it. It is giving up a big discount at receiver, but you also have Waddle. Like, the 2-for-1 in this instance, you're dropping someone that's valuable, but, you know, whoever it is, it's not going to be a 4th-round pick like Waddle is. I think I would do it. That's a pretty good combo, I think. Fair trade, and honestly, there's more risk on the Jettas side. I would take it. I'd go Saquon Waddle, but I'm also someone who has 30% Tank Bigsby, And I'm also like kind of convinced that Saquon gets hurt. So if you agree with that, if you worry about that, then don't do it. Waddle's also a bit injury prone. So if you want to just stick with what you have and not test the fantasy gods, not look like a fool perhaps down the line, but I think get a fair trade value, if not good returns. I actually don't hate if you accept the Saquon Waddle side, but usually I'm just not trading. Usually I like to accept my fate, especially before the season even starts. I want to see some games first before I make a trade. All right, I'm back on the clock. I will bring in Zach Charbonnet for sure. For sure. Come on down. Not sure what John Tara is going to do, but we are getting back in at running back with a name, at least one that I like. Let's go Charbonnet at 155. Does he play you week 10? One of my favorite things to do in redraft in this is trade people 2-for-1s if the 2s have buys the week I play them. That's funny. That's really funny. Okay. I probably need to get back in at receiver. I'll go Dontavian Wicks. There is a world where Dontavian Wicks is just the receiver too, over Malachi Fields for like a while. There's a chance he's actually really productive this year, but Jacoby Lane, a slappy pick there. Keenan Allen was off the board, a safer pick there. And then there's some pull-ups I could have made as well, but we'll see what comes back in the 15th. And in the 14th, I'll go Wicks first, but I don't know if that was the right play. I'm not sure. I see him as a big spike week guy, though. Like, last year, he had like a 2-touchdown game when they really needed him. I don't know what's going to happen this season, but Wicks has to fill in a little bit for A.J. Brown. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to turn off the fan, and then I'm going to take another rip from the pipe. Let's do it. I'm a man of my word. I told you exactly what I was going to do. I was going to leave, turn off the fan, and take a rip from the pipe. No lies were told. All right. This is a weird team. This is a weird, interesting team, and I don't totally hate it, but we're filling in the flex with some tight ends. Hopefully, we are trusting in Josh Allen every single week, and we only have to finish 4th to advance with a very high likelihood we also make the final. Running back room with Henry, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard. Felt gross with the Chubbard. The Chubert, as some are calling him. I guess that's only me. But Keaton Missile and Zach Charbonnet. Let's hope for the best. Also, maybe Chuba Hubbard actually like does something early in the year where like September's still a 50-50 split or something between him and Brooks. And then after the bye, Brooks just takes over. But by then, maybe by week 6, Sharbs is on the field. Maybe week 5, Sharbs on the field. I don't know what to make of Charbonnet in that scenario, but I need Charbonnet down the stretch. That's what we need. We need 10 touchdowns over the last 12 weeks. Something like that is possible with a guy like Sharps, because he will have some double touchdown games. He just will. He totally will. With Njoku is a fire pit accident. Ooh, that sounds tough. That does not sound fun. But the Harbaughs prefer deep thinkers. If not, this is why they brought in Mike McDaniel to the Chargers offense. The Harbaugh deep thinker connection. wants a philosophizer. If that's the correct term. But Leia's back. Leia is back. After I go Wicks, we see Brenton Strange, Terrence Ferguson, Dalton Schultz, Kate Otten, Hawkinson, and Barner off at tight end. Otten went early in this one. Otten at 166. That's odd. But I think I'm locked into RB receiver. Jaden Higgins is still here, but I'm not taking him. Yikes. This is bad. This is bad. I'm just going to stick with Brian Robinson. I still kind of like him. Ooh, this is gross. But I think this could be a 1773, perhaps. I'm not really convinced I need 8 wideouts. But... here, I definitely think I do need one. I will bring in Caleb Douglas at 182. I almost missed him. Glad I didn't. The bring back with Allen, but also just might have the Dolphins receiver 1. I kind of thought he was already off the board. I didn't see him on the previous pick. But just missed him, I guess. Glad I found him. But Wilson disbanded. One of my favorite things to do is trade players to a team when the player has a bye week the week I play them. Yeah, that sounds like a very fun way to trade when you really think about it. But do you think I should give Etienne and DeAndre Swift for Chase Brown now with Kamara injured? I don't know if how much more worth it Etienne will be. So you only get Chase Brown, but you send off DeAndre Swift and Travis Etienne. I don't think I would do that. I'd stick with my team. I think I would stick with Travis and DeAndre Swift. I like Chase Brown a lot, but I think having 2 valuable running backs that are both going to finish top 20, they're both being drafted top 20, I would stick with that than just one Chase Brown. Chase Brown could be top 5 this year, but I think I'd like the depth at running backs because you are going to... I guess you don't have to drop anyone. It's on the other side of the trade, but nah, I wouldn't play it that way. Before the season starts, I'm going to leave it alone. But cheers, disbanded. Slayton, I love ADP 100. Chuba betting against Brooks with the floor of 40% is nice. It is inexpensive pick, 110, not 100. So you're in 10 picks higher than where I took him. And he definitely wasn't going to make it back. I needed running back there. It does feel gross, though. I will fully admit it still feels gross. But, yeah, this could have totally been the explanation. I've lit a bonfire before, and, like, there is a tricky balance of how much lighter fluid are you going to put on that thing before you send it. The match can really torch it if you're not paying attention. But only 2 clicks left. I think maybe I took your votes to heart and I was like, I'm gonna prove y'all wrong. I'm gonna prove you guys wrong. I will actually go with a 1 quarterback team. But Jerry only went with 1 tight end. That's a much different strategy than what I did with 3 tight ends and 1 quarterback. But I am trusting Josh Allen on this one. I've seen Huhames do this before. I'm willing to mix it in today. But we need some more receivers. Vele goes. We took him on the last one. I have Lamb, T. Higgins, Romadunze at least. Wandale, Wicks, Caleb Douglas. I need a minimum of 1 wide receiver here. And I think I'll go Rashad Bateman. I think that's where I'll go. Not going to take Jaden Higgins. He's still on the board. I'm going to leave him for John Tara. John Tara can take Jaden Higgins. I'm going to be a nice guy. He's fallen 80 picks. You can have him. Be my guest, John Tara. All for you. I assume he's going to take. He goes Vidal. Whoa. He just wants another. He just wants another pick of CLV. That's what it is. He just wants the full 83 picks of CLV, not just 84. 83 picks is what John Tara is going for. That's my guess. I'm not sure if it's just me. Am I going to get stuck with Jaden Higgins because I joked around about it? Okay, thank God. I get Zachariah Branch. I was right there. I almost did get Jaden Higgins. Well, the joke was almost on me. That was weird. Y'all saw that too, right? The clock just froze. Thank God I put Zachariah Branch in the queue. We almost drafted Jaden Higgins. Serves me right for testing fate. But I commit to the bit. I do go with only one quarterback. We have a 1-6-8-3. Josh Allen, you will be tested in this one. You will be put to the test. Is he worth it? That's what this team is asking. Can Josh Allen by himself get you in 4th place? Let's find out if this is enough. Derrick Henry, Rico Dowdle, Chuba Hubbard, Keaton Mitchell, Zach Charbonnet, and Brian Robinson at running back. Wide receiver has CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Rome Odunze, Wandale, Wicks, Caleb Douglas, Bateman, Branch. And then tight end we will get some flex points out of with Tyler Warren, Sam Laporta, and Travis Kelce. Let's hope for the best. I see the vision. I see how it works. I think I might get away with it, but the bully tight end, probably not the best. Bully quarterback, probably much better than bully tight end. I think Jerry's team probably has a better chance than mine. We committed to the bit, but it wasn't the same. It's a different structure, but in general, I don't ever take Allen, and this is the only contest where you can maybe talk yourself into you actually get away with only Allen as your only quarterback. So I don't think I love it. I think it's interesting. There's a world where it does actually work. If I find myself in the final with this, I'm going to be so happy. But I'm actually not that convinced it actually exits the pod. I feel like I might just finish 5th or 6th. I think I'll be competitive, but if I finish 4th, I'm going to be laughing to the bank with only $30. But I think these are the only Hound Dogs I'm going to do. I did one this morning watching Best Ball Guys channel, and then we did 3 tonight. I think I'm done in the Hound Dog, because if I make the final, I only get $30. I've already sunk 24 into the thing. I'm not going to go all 60. I don't think it's worth it. So got really weird on that one. Maybe there's some elite quarterback rooms, though, in this lobby. I might be behind the 8 ball in that regard. But Eric says, Swift is on my bench, but he is a great backup and flex if needed. I'm high on Chase Brown, but I'll keep it for now. Don't want a great ETN going off. You can also make the trade later. There's also that. I think I don't want to make a trade August 20th. Most of the time, I think it's better to just see what you have and then maybe start to mix it up. But I'm usually someone that is very trade averse, to be completely honest with you. But Seth says, good draft. Really wanted Kelce to fall back to me there. He did not. John Tara, I got boxed out at running back bad. Anthony says, just tuned back in and saw you have 1 quarterback. Whoa, yeah. If anything, the poll results are what forced me into like trying to prove y'all wrong. The poll results, I wanted to just say, you know what? Y'all are mostly wrong. We're actually going to do it. We're actually going to do a strictly Josh Allen team. But John Tara, I think we skipped you in the last one. Let's take a look at this one. You say you get boxed out at the running back position, but you have T-Law, Brock Purdy, Ken Walker, Javonte, and RJ Harvey, Ray Day, Kalen Black, Kamani Vidal. Honestly, these two are great, and then I think you have enough with the top three that you probably get away with it. But Vidal, good luck. Maybe you get something. Mostly if Hampton gets hurt. That's kind of the only bet. But Ray Day and Kalen Black, to wait that long is actually not bad. I don't hate it. Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Parker Washington, Christian Watson, Denzel Boston, Trey Harris, Jalen McMillan, and Chris Bell. Really good receiver room. Kittle and Goddard, kind of risky just because of Kittle's health, but elite upside any given week. And if Goddard stays healthy, then you probably have a top 10 tight end, in my opinion. I think he's way underdrafted. So to have that as 2, I think you can actually get away with it. But the 2-6-8-2 running back depth might not be important in the first place. So let's just hope that these 3 are all you need. If you're right with this combo, you're in business, John Tara. I think the team has a pulse. Definitely has a pulse. We got game tight with Herbo, Malik Willis, and Bryce Young. That's fine because I trust Herbert, but on paper, there's a world where this just never works out. There's a chance this is not that good. But with Herbert, I would never doubt it. So it's really just the backups. That's the only concern. Herbert, it's great. Genty, Achane, Quinshon, Corum, Kyle Monangai, and Mike Washington. Very balanced, very nice. A little expensive, but can definitely check out. Ladd, Tet, BTJ, Tyson, Coker, and Tolbert. Gross. This is not very safe at all. Tolbert, Tyson on a 6 receiver team, and then number 2 is just Tet. I'm pretty low on Tet myself, so if BTJ is just inconsistent, you could really struggle to put up receiver points because Coker's a big hit or miss. A big bet on Bryce Young on this team. That's never that safe. Tiefer, Dulcich, and Gadsden. It's not like the tight end room is that elite either. So, yeah. Odd team. Ladd with Herbert is a big saving grace, so I can't write it off entirely. But I actually think you just spent too much at running back. Whether it's Quinshon, Blake Corum, or Kyle Monangai, one of those guys being a receiver would help you so much. I think you made a mistake with one of these running back picks. It's probably Blake Corum. It's probably too expensive on Corum there. Or just even Mike Washington being a receiver helps out a ton. So, yeah, receiver feels too thin. That's my honest opinion. Tight end is fine. It could crash and burn, though. Dulcich and Gadsden might do nothing. And then Ferguson just might be so inconsistent. So, very risky team. I don't feel sold that Herbert, Genty, Achane, and Ladd in the starting lineup locks up a playoff spot in this one. Typically, I would. But I'm not fully sold. I'm not going to lie. Game tight is a risky drafter sometimes. If he's right, his teams are going to hit huge. He drafts like he's right. Always respect Game Tight's team. To finish top 4, it's not impossible, but I feel like this lobby just might be tough. P-Punch, though, has Dak and Bo Nix. Dak at 103. That's awesome. Whoa, that's the lowest I've ever seen on Dak. Never have I seen him pass like 95. So that's really dope. Brees Hall, Travis at 42, Ramondre, Coleman, Braylon Allen, Damon Claiborne, Amon-Ra, A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Jaden Reed, Addison, Bryant, and Franklin. Really no complaints anywhere. Both Jets running backs is really the only problem. And then Claiborne's hard to trust. But Jake Ferguson, Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz combo, that's very, very reasonable. Affordable and effective. So, yeah, good luck with the Jets backfield. But otherwise, this team is pretty sick. This team is nice. The Bo Nix double stack, too. I think running back has some weird picks on it. Like Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, Damon Claiborne. That just might be terrible. you might get really nothing that leads to good advancing. You know, the advance rate on those 3 players could just be awful. That, I think, is the big problem. But worth the risk. Everything else feels excellent. So, good team beyond that. Is Wabi in this lobby? I'm going to scroll up for Seth. Unless you want to drop a comment, Seth. For the moment, I think I'm going to skip Wabi's team because I'm not totally sure. But if you are a member, Seth, just let me know. And we will take a look. I think we skipped Odunikin last time, or not totally sure, but I'm going to review Odunikin again. Game Type says Mike Washington was supposed to be wide receiver. Funny how you knew that was a mistake. Yeah, it felt like we just won too many running backs on that one. But all these underdog contests filled. Are you planning to draft some first quarter teams? Tonight, no, we're done. Tonight, we're done drafting. I'm just doing team reviews, and then we're going to exit and go to bed. It is officially tomorrow, so we've hit the 2-hour and 45-minute mark. I will move on, but appreciate the reminder, Seth. Thanks for letting me know. Odunikin, though. Jalen Hurts and Jackson Dart. Running quarterbacks, that's what you want. CMC, Scatabo, injury risk up the wazoo. Brooks, Rodriguez, Tajay, and Sean Tucker. Pretty much every injury-prone running back other than Dobbins. But right now, none of them are hurt, so trust them, I guess. I know. When I said it, I recognized the opportunity there. But let's try it. Let's try it. Let's close out the music. Wabi in the lobby. 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 There it is. In the. I was not enunciating. I'll be honest, but you ask, you shall receive at 12:27 a.m. Not on everything, but on that. Keeping the vocal exercises are actually really, really clutch for the live streaming prep. To do vocal exercise actually helps me out a lot. And I was coughing earlier, so we still can say Wabi in the lobby 10 times fast. Hilltoppers, I think, has the last team. But I'm sure there's probably a contingent of you that maybe didn't enjoy that. But glad that Seth, of all the reactions, this is all I needed for that to be worth it. For Seth to have enjoyed it. Jaden Daniels, Sam Darnold, and Cam Ward. Good luck, but feels fine. Bijan, Beischel, Tootin, Rashad White, Woody Marks, Tank Bigsby, and Jordan James. You still believe in Jordan James. Nice. Honestly, for my bags previously, I hope he's still relevant. I think if Christian McCaffrey does go down, we're going to get multiple games out of multiple different running backs. I think Jordan James and Kalen Black will have some usable games. But Nico Collins, Malik Neighbors, Luther Burden, Stephon Diggs, Mekhi Lemon, Jacoby Myers, and Calvin Ridley. Not bad. Really, really strong up top and good balanced the rest of the way. Kraft and Gunnar Helm. So despite me taking 2 elite tight ends, you have Kraft, so you're in that elite pool as well. Running back might just need to be right on a few bad picks. But if Tootin's the truth, and if you get saved by Bigsby or Jordan James, this team with Bijan would be very crisp. Good luck with Daniel staying healthy. That's the only concern I have with him. But otherwise, it's all checking out. The dig stack should pay off. And, yeah, the receiver room's loaded. So, good team with Bijan. You can never be too upset. But there's some picks I don't really like here. I've talked myself out of Rashad White lately, but I have a lot of him much cheaper, so it's easy to do that. And then Woody Marks I've just never liked in the first place. I've never been a fan of Woody Marks. But yeah, at this point in time, I'm trying to play it through Kalen Black for sure. I don't think it's impossible for Jordan James to still have value, but with a lot of bags already packed on him and recent rib injuries, Kalen Black, healthy at practice, I think is definitely the guy you want. And you can take him as high as Tank Bigsby, honestly. Like, we're taking Bigsby 146. Who's to say Kalen Black doesn't have more usable games and isn't even higher upside type of pick? Love the Kalen Black selection anywhere on the board. Even next to Blake Corum, perhaps. You could justify it. Anyways, I'm going to dip. This was great. This was fun. I'm going to take one final rip from the pipe. But I'll see you guys on the other side. And we will be live tomorrow with Pepper Tony. Excited for that. Coming from the chat into the live stream. Very special guest. The moderator, Pepper Tony, will be joining us. Look out for that. But one final rip will clear the pipe. One last time. Oh.
Peace out.